deep state has a problem, and his name is Bak. Tune in to Guess Who's Bak with Chase Geiser, only at chasegeiser.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am Chase Geiser, joined by the esteemed Steven Bak, my co-host of Guess Who's Bak on the Chase Geiser Network. You can tune in at chasegeiser.com. Sign up for a free or paid membership. The benefits are very similar across both, but one does keep us on the air. Right now, we are broadcasting 3 nights a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 p.m. Central. We would like to expand that to Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Central, because 3 nights a week just isn't enough for a good and healthy marriage. It should be every night of the week, with a little break, a little breather to heal and cure on the weekends. We should be working all 6 days, keeping the Sabbath holy. Don't you think, Bak?
I'd love to broadcast 6 days. Hopefully we can grow and get there with your support.
Hell yeah. But if you are broke, like so many of us in this current economy, then there are other ways to support us. You can go to youtube.com/Chase Geiser Network. I think you have to put the @ sign in front of it. /@ Chase Geiser Network. The link is in the bio. You can follow Bak, who we're rapidly trying to get to over 1,000 followers on X, at Real Steven Bak. You can see him here in the space. That's RealStevenBak. You can also see a link to his profile in my Twitter bio at Real Chase Geiser, ChaseGeiser. And today we're going to be covering so many things. In fact, for today's show, Bak has done the primary brunt of the research and development of the content that we will be covering. We're going to be going over to things like whether or not Barron's okay, which is the one thing I wanted to talk about that Bak didn't prepare for, but that's my one topic that I'm bringing that I would like to talk about. Bak is prepared for us to talk about the Iran deal, whether it's going to be more permanent or tentative. He actually did watch much, if not all, of the UFC event last night at the White House, so he's going to tell us a little bit about that and all of the other breaking news that has been happening over the course of the weekend. So thank you so much for joining us for Guess Who's Bak with Chase Geiser and Steven Bak. Bak, take it away, brother.
Should we get right into the first story, or tell everyone how I was drinking single malt whiskey and overeating Mexican food and I paid the fucking price today?
Tell them about the latter first.
Which one?
That's the only news that they can't get from the mainstream media. Your diet and drinking behavior last night.
Yeah, so hung out with my friend Adam. I drank about a half bottle of single malt whiskey. And then we ordered from this Mexican place down the street. I got tacos, burritos, quesadillas, and I built myself a little box of all three. And then it was very rich with cheese. I believe the Mexicans call it queso. So I was just, your boy was drizzling the queso all over everything. And I've been trying to be on a diet recently, and I broke it because the fights were fucking absolutely amazing. And then I woke up with a bellyache.
I'm really sorry to hear that, Bak.
That's all right, but I didn't get any pooping. You've been pooping. I haven't been getting any pooping problems, but yeah, I had a bellyache. And then now we're making this show just for you, because we're not going to miss a day, are we?
No, we're not. We're committed. In fact, I slept most of the day today because I think I just overdid it last week. I slept most of the weekend and most of the day today. I woke up totally unprepared for the show, and Bak's like, don't worry, I got this. I am Lord Bacchus, god of wine and fertility, and I can overcome any hangover, any upset stomach, because it is in my very godly nature to overcome such obstacles, given that, of course, he is the god of wine and fertility.
I have a North Korean stomach, though. I've always had this, where my favorite food is leftovers, and I'll eat something that's been left out all night, and I'm like a fucking mule.
The one thing you're not supposed to eat that's been left out all night is rice, though. Did you know that? It has a specific bacteria that can be deadly.
Holy shit, that would have been good to know years ago.
I've eaten rice that's been like crunchy practically. It's so stale.
Yeah, but you're white. That's a little different. I have the North Korean, what do you call that? I have a North Korean constitution. That's what it is. You know? But I would never eat seafood that's been left out for more than a few hours, so don't think I'm disgusting. Anyways, shall we hit the trending news of the day?
Sure. Let's go right into it.
All right. So we can play clip 100, taking a pounding, to give you the context of this.
Here's a clip of Bak taking a pounding.
It's America. It's Iran taking a pounding.
Now to the latest developments on the war with Iran. President Trump claims the U.S. has, quote, ended the war and made a great deal with Iran. However, Iranian leaders have not confirmed this. And overnight, the U.S. shot down 2 Iranian drones. ABC's Rachel Scott has the latest.
Overnight, a U.S. official telling ABC News it appears Iran attempted to strike commercial ships transiting the Strait of Hormuz, with U.S. forces shooting down 2 Iranian attack drones. But just hours earlier, the president said this.
I don't know if you heard, but we ended the war with Iran today.
Over the past 24 hours, President Trump has gone from threatening strikes to calling off strikes to once again claiming a peace deal is within reach.
You have said before that Iran and the United States were close to a deal. It has not happened yet. Why are you so convinced that this time is different?
Because they've taken a pounding. They've taken a pounding like very few people could take.
Just hours earlier, the president said the U.S. was ready to strike Iran very hard, adding the U.S. would soon be taking Karg Island, the heart of Iran's oil economy.
So that report was from a few days ago, and you could see the back and forth, and you could see the announcement before the SpaceX IPO. A lot of people thought it was Trump just raising the markets again. We've all read that statistic, something like 39 times he announced the Iranian war was over, and then obviously it flared back up. I am in the camp, and I made a React video about this a couple days ago where I was saying this. I probably should have released it, but it was so low energy and so limp dick that I couldn't possibly live with myself.
Bueller, are we going to have peace with Iran, Bueller?
But last week I was pointing out the fact that they're going to have to get some sort of pause in place soon. All parties involved want a component of a peace deal to last somewhat long because they all benefit. So Iran needs to get into their oil fields. A lot of their oil storage facilities were knocked offline, I believe like up to 10% in the opening phases of the war. So they've had to divert. I don't know if they have pipelines in the country that are hidden to divert into different land-based areas, but the oil was overflowing. They've had to shut down some of the pumping activity. And
I hate it when they shut down the pumping activity.
One pump, just like Genghis Khan. You line them up. But so with these oil jacks and the wellbore heads, when they go offline, the longer they stay offline, the less pressure is maintained. And if that happens, the longer that these stay offline, you can't extract oil at the same level as previous. So there was a timeline on this for the Iranian oil infrastructure that has been shut down. And if we know anything about the numbers of missiles in our armament stockpile, the U.S. and Israel, they're running pretty low on interceptors, offensive missiles of all sorts. Obviously, the PAC-3 systems for the Patriots. I'd imagine
Can we explore that
missiles.
a little bit more? I want to explore the armament question a little bit more because A, how do we know that? And B, don't we have infrastructure in place to rapidly replenish munitions? I mean, even with the start of World War II, like I mentioned this point before, the Japanese said, I fear we've awakened a sleeping giant. We completely restructured our manufacturing in the United States after that Pearl Harbor attack so that we could build ships and rebuild our Navy rapidly. We weaponized Ford to build like 60% all the B-52s or whatever that were the Mustangs, the fighters that were made, right? So like, yeah, it could be true that we're out of our like first stockpile, but can't just a few, I don't know, moves be made at an executive level to increase the top of funnel for the supply chain?
Yes, but there's always going to be a lag. Like it's already been widely stated, we're running out of tungsten, critical metal for military.
So now's a good time to buy tungsten.
If you can get your hands on it. The Chinese, they've been given control of rare earths processing by the globalists, and they've really monopolized on that. So that's why we've been hitting Venezuela. That's why we took over Venezuela. That's why we've been blocking the double blockade on the Strait of Hormuz, because every nation
This
state...
blockade is perfectly legal.
Yeah, we're trying to obviously get China in heel. So I didn't have much faith in this conflict pausing in the short term until I seen the pieces start to align, like when Trump went to China and then Xi went to China shortly after.
Xi always goes to China.
Yeah, Xi always goes to China. Putin went to go see Xi in China after. The longer that this war rages on without some sort of resupply, some sort of pause in the fighting, the more demand destruction that's created. And the ideal place to keep oil is between $90 to $120 a barrel at the lowest and the highest, because people will just stop using oil, and then all the associated businesses like shipping, obviously like transnational shipping, cargo, jet airplanes, et cetera, they all shut down. And then those businesses will never open back up in time, and the whole demand will just be gone for oil. So they want to keep it at a certain sweet spot. The only country that really benefits from demand destruction in the short term is Russia.
Interesting.
So
because
China
it creates an
and the
increased demand
U.S.
for their supply.
Yeah, but that's only for
Well,
the
and
first.
the U.S. is we're technically an energy exporter.
Allegedly, that's a little bit more complicated. We don't.
Is there something we say?
No, it's that's why we went to Venezuela, because they have that heavy crude that's a lot harder.
That shit's
to
going to take
process.
forever for us to process.
Yeah, we process and refine and ship light crude that's really pure over here. So it's not even the right type of oil when they say we're a net exporter, and we run a deficit like 7 to 10 million barrels a day. So
No
I don't,
shit.
I don't even know why they're saying that. We're pulling out of our strategic reserve. China can buffer with their oil stockpile, their strategic reserve. They haven't really been pulling out of, but the three big economies, Russia, China, and the United States, demand destruction really affects China and the United States. So after I seen that deal in place, some of the conditions.
And it's the first time there's really been something in writing, even though it's just a memorandum. They actually do have something in writing rather than just Trump saying something and Iran saying, fuck you, it's not true.
Yeah, well, you see the Pakistani officials and the Egyptian officials and a lot of like Bahrainian, they've been coming out and touting this memorandum of understanding. So I do think there'll be a short-term pause in the fighting, but it'll be only to the extent that they can get the ships stuck in the Persian Gulf out and the countries involved that have been attacking Iran to rearm. So this will be a forever war, but every side involved has an interest in some sort of durable pause. We don't know how long that'll go because the real dark horse in this is Israel.
Yeah, and Israel wants us to be in this conflict perpetually because it's part of their greater Israel project, right? So they could just violate the ceasefire agreement or the memorandum agreement by striking Lebanon or wherever, right?
Which they've already announced they will be doing. But
just, don't you love our greatest ally?
Not my fucking greatest ally.
Who is?
My greatest ally is Jesus Christ. Christ is King. My second greatest ally is my mom. My third greatest ally is the team here. Chase Guy. How many times they were sending J.D. Vance back and forth?
Killed all the Jedi in the temple. Go to the Mustafar system.
Right here, we got the peace deal.
Wipe out Viceroy Gunray and the other separatist leaders.
It's only 30 seconds.
Once more, the Sith will rule the galaxy. And we shall have peace.
Looks like my last bar mitzvah.
Jesus. Jones always does that impression. And we shall have peace.
So the reason this is going to be a forever war is because it's so hard to create something and to abide by it. And it's so easy to just knock over the Jenga blocks, to just smash everything. That's just a rule of nature. It is easier to destroy than to create.
It's easier to be the Hulk than it is to be Iron Man.
We have an unwilling participant, Israel, that will go to no lengths to sabotage this, but I do believe this could be a durable, like something like a truce for maybe a month, 2 months, 3 months, because they do need to rearm. But they're never going to stop attacking their Middle Eastern neighbors. We all know that. And the problem with the memorandum of understanding is this is essentially the same exact deal that would have been put in place if we surrendered. This is being spun as a win. It is not a win.
You mean the conditions are such that we would have agreed to if we'd been surrendered?
Look at the conditions, man. Iran gets to unfreeze its money. Middle Eastern, the United States Middle Eastern presence is essentially lessened or gone. They've worded it so vaguely that we need to cease all military actions, and we need to remove all of our proxies that are nearby, meaning it could be nearby the country of Iran, nearby Iranian forces. What does that even mean?
See, but there is one condition. There has been a regime change of sorts, right?
Yeah, because we killed them.
Yeah, so you kill the first regime, a new regime comes in, and you say, here, then you can bribe them with all the release of all the tension or the sanctions that were put on the first regime. I'm not defending Trump or what happened over here, by the way. I'm just saying, yes, it is the same as the conditions of surrender, but we did come out with an outcome, which was a different leadership, right? Or did we not? I'm not saying with certainty.
I mean, that's the problem. Remember when Israel was killing the diplomats during the previous negotiations? We don't know which faction's fully in charge. We know that the whole Hezbollah command structure's been decentralized. So we don't even know if we're talking to the power players in Iran right now. We killed essentially the Pope of Shia Islam when we took out the Ayatollah and the number 2 after that. Now it's his allegedly gay limp dick son that's in charge that also is injured. So who knows if we're even negotiating with the right people. The things with Iran is going to remove their enriched uranium. That's all bullshit. I've told you Iran already has a nuclear weapon, which I have more clips to that. We know where the uranium is because there's nuclear snoopers all over the Middle East. And if you mine uranium from a certain region, it emits isotopes, obviously. So we've been able to keep track of this the whole time. It's all bullshit that they're going to abide by, like, essentially like a new JCPOA, like the one Obama signed. And remember when we gave Obama so much shit for bringing the pallets of cash and unfreezing sanctions?
Yeah.
We ended up essentially with the same result. No, that was the Iran JCPOA.
Let's watch this clip on the conditions. I want to see him specifically. They'll be England by doing everything they can to find a white Englishman to be on the news.
His ear looks like the quesadillas I was eating yesterday. It's fucking disgusting. But what kind of only Fox News, America's wartime propaganda channel, would spin this as any sort of victory? How much money was spent bombing Iran at the behest of Israel? How much more money is going to be spent giving them their unfreezing their assets and then giving them money on top for reconstruction? Iran stays in control of the Strait of Hormuz. They get to charge a toll.
Is there
their
some
regime
benefit,
was not
though?
toppled.
Is there some benefit to them knowing that we have the audacity to just bomb the fuck out of them whenever we want?
No.
And like I said, I'm not being an apologist for Trump and what he did here.
We have to hit
I'm just
both
saying,
sides of it.
like now they know that we're not just fucking fags because we've never done anything like this in Iran.
No, this was actually a real big problem for our military because China and Russia are providing the signals intelligence. So there's certain frequencies that your planes run on, your comms run on. Everything from the U.S. attack plan, when we went in and started bombing all these targets, have been given away or identified for the most part.
So because we did the strike, they've learned a lot about our offense and defensive capabilities?
Absolutely. And because this has encouraged Russia and China to share intelligence via the satellite feeds, everything. So they know where all our radar stations are. They know that they can use loitering drones on them. They know that we can't defend shit in the Gulf Coast. And this has essentially just been one. Yeah, so what objective did we achieve here other than giving away intelligence on our military capabilities?
We gave away our military
and
capabilities,
our money.
intelligence. We spent a shit ton of money.
Mm-hmm.
We did have a regime change, though.
Yeah, but you know how regime change goes. Typically, you get something worse.
Yeah. Sometimes. We had some pretty damn successful regime changes after World War II.
Yeah, the color revolutions after World War II. I mean, especially look at Iran. We installed the Shah.
Yeah.
You know, so it's the same exact fucking playbook.
From my
but we're dealing with it
experience,
today.
from my experience, the more fucked up a country is, the more difficult it is to have a good regime change. The more established cultural consensus, systematic a culture is, the easier it is to have a regime change. So, like in Germany, obviously they had some hell with half of Berlin being communist and half being capitalist for a number of decades. But in Iran, they might be established enough of a culture that you can go in and you can have a regime change and they kind of pick up the pieces. Whereas Afghanistan was just a shit show. Iraq was just a shit show.
Iran's just such a large country. And it's like, remember we were talking about bringing the Kurds in? Like, another perfect example of, like, look at the Maidan coup. Look at what Ukraine's dealing with today now, ever since then. If you get in bed with the CIA from a color revolution, it just creates such a laundry list of problems. I don't think we've had a successful regime change almost ever, my personal opinion.
It's kind of like when you play asteroids and you blast one asteroid and it turns into like four small, faster moving
That's
ones.
a really fucking good example.
It just like makes things harder.
I haven't played asteroids since I was a younger Asian man. But yeah, let's just hope that this will last a period of even 6 months to a year.
Well, let's talk about Israel versus Turkey. I want to see this clip.
Thank you, President. I have two questions. First of all, Turkish President Erdogan keeps threatening Israel. Do you think there's a chance of a conflict between Israel and Turkey, and will you sell F-35 to
Well, as you know, he's a very good friend of mine. Mm-hmm. And we've worked very well together. I like him a lot. I'm not supposed to say that because the press will say, oh, he likes Erdogan. No, he's a hell of a leader. And a strong person, very strong person. I haven't heard that at all. If I did, I'd call him, and I think I'd make sure that things were fine. I don't think that will happen with Turkey. Not as long as I'm president, because he respects me and I respect him. But beyond that, we have a good friendship. So, we'll see.
That's just assuming that he has control, assuming that he's got control over Israel and Israel's behavior, which is based on all evidence that we've seen so far, he doesn't.
No, Israel's
even Marco
like a
Rubio,
rabid fucking dog.
even Marco Rubio admitted that the whole reason we got involved in this conflict is because Israel was jumping the gun and going without our consent.
And if you even look at the borders of the Greater Israel Project, it goes through all the surrounding nations. All the Abraham Accords signing nations too. It's like, what nation around Israel is going to accept the Greater Israel Project? None of them. So this thing's dead in the water. That's why this is going to be a forever war. The best you could possibly hope for is
an armistice, a ceasefire, an extended ceasefire,
somewhat of a durable, because even that's going to flare up.
We had a gap between World War I and World War II that was 1919 to 1941. So maybe we'll get 20 years of peace.
No, if this
not in this case.
Yeah, if this even lasts a period of weeks to a few months.
Especially since Bibi needs war in order to postpone all of his prosecutions.
Well, he needs war. Yeah, he needs to keep this war raging so he doesn't go to fucking jail. When's his term supposed to
end anyway?
I have no idea.
He's fucked.
He's 100% fucked. Should we get into... So, yeah, that's our update on the memorandum of understanding.
Okay, so 2 months of peace is our estimate.
If that, yeah.
Okay.
It's just too many.
So more conflict just by August.
Maybe it'll hold up to fall. I don't have much hope for this.
Look, Iran, at least let us get through the 250th anniversary.
The funniest thing is ladies and gentlemen, let the oil flow. Like he's a racetrack announcer
like he's
or something.
UFC.
It's just like NASCAR,
ladies
bro.
and gentlemen, this year at the UFC, let the oil flow.
Bro, what the fuck are you doing, man? What an embarrassment.
All right, I'm going to watch this. Hold on.
If this actually happened, this would be massive. It would make this event.
Posted from his account, and then it was deleted, I'm sure, after some pressure was applied to him. And then Eric Trump saying, I can't believe you guys fell for this AI-generated image, even though I insider trade drone companies and crypto. I'm not insider trading sports bets. You got to believe me, bro. This is AI-generated. You got to believe me.
Yeah, my inclination, I mean, I can't know for sure, obviously, but I'm 60 to 80% sure that that's a legit conversation that was shared.
I mean, if it was that much of a joke, would you directly address it? And then when's the last time? That's such a specific thing for your account to get hacked, posted, and then deleted about.
Yeah, usually when your account gets hacked, somebody just posts the N-word.
Yeah, it's like, I have a vagina, or they post the N-word, or you know?
Yeah, or they quietly change the Stripe payouts to another Stripe account so they can collect all your monetization.
Not screenshots, allegedly, from Eric Trump about...
That's fucking weird, dude.
But it just shows you the spirit of the people negotiating. You know, this is that's really fucking disgusting behavior. The only silver lining in that is hopefully the UFC isn't rigged, but if you know anything about sports, they've all got dragged in front of congressional testimonies to say whether or not they have a sports entertainment license or a actual sporting league betting license, So, yeah, I don't know.
What do you think about how Barron Trump looked during this whole event?
It looks like he's been ripping Bud Lights.
You think that's as simple as that? You think he just put on the freshman 15? He's having a good time?
He does look a lot older. I don't really know why he's aging so quickly.
Well, have you ever seen pictures of past sons of presidents and how much they aged during their father's term?
I thought that was the presidents themselves that aged.
I'm just fucking with you. Yeah.
Yeah, it just looks to me like he's ripping beers, probably banging bitches.
He doesn't have his hair slicked back anymore, though. He's got it wild. He's going wild boy. I think he's getting pussy.
Yeah, I mean, he's a crypto millionaire from all the inside trading.
He looks like he's been running through it.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Do you think he's a crypto millionaire?
He is a crypto millionaire.
Did he buy SpaceX?
I have no idea if he bought. I'm sure all of them are pumping and dumping this IPO. Which is why I recommend you don't buy this IPO right now. Just buy it when it crashes. Trending on Twitter.
Of the position that something is very wrong with Butler. And whatever it is that is wrong with Butler, it may go a very long way in terms of explaining what is wrong with Trump, what went wrong with Trump. Because we have two options here, okay? If you almost get assassinated and you do not fire the Secret Service agents that failed to protect you on that day, they moved you off the stage, but certainly failed to protect you on that day and see somebody on the rooftop. And then beyond that, you determine that you are satisfied with the investigation and you allow lies to come out about the investigation or lies to remain about the investigation, saying that the person who allegedly fired the shots had no social media background. And then you withhold information from the public. We only have two options to consider. The first thing is that the entire thing was staged and Trump was involved. Trump knew it was going to happen, and he allowed the entire assassination attempt to take place, thereby thrusting him into this category where all of us went, oh, there must have been a reason that God saved him.
Not to mention, she did have another clip. I don't know if you included it or if I included it, but where it was Comparatore, the man who was killed, just had general tickets and he was moved to VIP later.
I didn't know that.
And so he was placed in the position in which, of course, he inevitably or ultimately died.
So I have to apologize to my buddy Al and even Contact, because he said that the shooting looked very suspicious. Like, I was like, oh, you think Trump would take the chance? You know that he has real enemies, like someone really died there. And like I'm sure you guys have all heard the prophecies from Isaiah about the Messiah and how Trump is going to be the anointed one to bring in Israeli supremacy in the Middle East, essentially via biblical prophecy, and that he's God's hand on earth and that the right ear will be pierced. I heard that too, and I didn't really put much stock in it. But now that the new footage has came out from the back shot from all the photographers and the flag being rolled out on clip 110, and we have more information. Obviously, a year and a half, 2 years later, this is suspect as fuck.
It's hard to see. Here, let me see if I can full screen it for the audience.
We don't know. Either that or they're covering him. We love you. We love you, President.
So this is footage from in front of the stage. He's getting back up. Famous iconic pose. Cameraman swooping in. Ushered in, rather. Flag's lowered into position, so the
Just
flag
like
does go
set.
lower. They could have been lowering the flag to try to provide cover, though. Continue to move the photographers in a position with help from his colleague. Odd behavior shows how they staged the famous photo.
And at that time, they weren't covering his campaign rallies, but on that day, you have 3 Pulitzer Prize winning photographers there on hand. And this whole ritual that people are saying, the Jews consider him to be Cyrus the Great, the one that's going to help rebuild Israel to its former greatness, and that you're a bond servant to Israel with the piercing on the right ear and him being knocked out of his shoes. And I find it very intentional that the name of the town this occurred in was Butler, Pennsylvania.
What does Butler have to do with it?
Well, this is a prophecy. It's a Jewish
Good
ritual.
evening, Mr. Wayne.
Where you're a bond servant and you're going to be the one.
His mission. Cyrus conquered the mighty Neo-Babylonian Empire in 5.
Bak.
I just sent you another clip that Maze sent me to play later on. So this is the fulfilling of the Cyrus the Great prophecy. He's going to bring about the rejuvenation of captured people that had to go into a diaspora under Babylonian captivity.
I'm not drawing the connection to Butler, though. Can you help me?
Well, I just found that funny that the name of the town was Butler, and this whole prophecy is about essentially a bond servitude ritual to Israel.
Because Butler is a bond servant, like a butler
like a butler, like a servant, exactly.
Okay, I see where you're going.
Yeah, we have a Jewish rabbi breaking down on clip 113. We can even play the one on 112, but I think 113 is probably a better breakdown.
Listen to what this rabbi admits about the Trump assassination attempt in Butler.
The current non-Jewish Messiah was chosen to be of service to the Jewish people and the Jewish Messiah. President Trump's right ear was grazed in a symbolic gesture of Exodus 21:6, where the Torah states that a servant who wants to remain with his master needs to have his right ear pierced. Trump was designated as God's servant and anointed one.
Why does he say, wait? Who does that whenever there's an actual threat? Nobody. Wait. It's almost like it was staged for this photo. Why else would cameramen be running up to the scene under live gunfire?
Man.
If you don't think the U.S. government is willing to kill a few people to push a narrative, look at 9/11. This is what an actual one looks like. As soon as the shots are fired, he is out of there within 11 seconds.
That's wrong,
just
Reagan.
ask yourself, if there was any serious attempt on his life, do you think these men and women right here would be willing to just wait under live gunfire so he can say a few words? Are we serious? Is it just like Shakespeare said, all the world's a stage?
And we heard the theories, right after the shooting. But now we have some time. The administration's lack of actions.
The weirdest thing about that shooting to me is not even anything that happened on that day. It's the lack of investigation that's taken place since
the cover-up.
Exactly. Like, why was his apartment professionally scrubbed? Why is it that he was immediately cremated? Why is it that they lied about the extent to which he'd posted any content on social media, and then it was later discovered that he'd actually posted fairly extensively?
They didn't investigate.
Why was he going to shooting ranges known to be frequented by the CIA or the FBI?
The Trantifa that were there too. So none of this fucking makes sense.
Why was he seen for 3 hours and noticed 3 hours before he actually did the shooting? Why was he able to use a ladder that he bought at Home Depot in order to climb on the roof and get in position? Doesn't make any fucking sense.
Oh, I got confused. Trantifa was Charlie Kirk. My bad.
It's okay. They're all the same to me.
Yeah, but also, why was the coordinates searched in Israel 6 days prior and happened to be where he put the gun away too?
Weird. It's just fucking weird, dude.
Now you can see why Bongino and
anybody anywhere with a pellet gun, dude.
It hits Trump in the face. He's like, "Oh fuck, you fucking dickhead!" He just has a pellet gun right in the face.
I still 60% sure it's real.
What, the assassination attempt?
Yeah, but I'm down from 95% sure.
Yeah, it gets more suspect as.
It's just weird that they didn't unveil anything. I know that Maze is just fucking squirming. We'll get to speakers in a little bit. All right, let's keep going through these clips.
All right, so if we go to clip 114 or...
All right.
Shout out to Honey Badger for the super chat. Thank you very much.
Hell yeah, Honey Badger!
Yep. Actual, this is the one with the dick, not the one with the vagina on X. He says the Israel prophecy shit is getting out of hand. It just seems forced. I can agree with that too, but man, all the backstory, all the precedent, the
one of the
rabbis
things too that
about
the Israeli leadership, religious leadership, the Jewish religious leadership is like a sewing circle. Every single generation, they think that they've identified who the Messiah is. There's always a rumored new Messiah in Israel or Tel Aviv that's allegedly performed miracles, and he's like a flash celebrity. Have you seen clips like that where it's like, oh, this, they always fucking think
they're looking for the return of the Messiah.
They always
every
think
single,
it's fucking coming, and it never fucking happens.
But people have been saying that Trump's been taking Israeli money for his whole adult life. That's how he's gotten out of every bankruptcy, and that this was like a 30, 40-year play for the Mossad to get their man in office.
Is there anything particularly complicated though about how he's? I mean, you declare bankruptcy. You don't owe the debt anymore. Everybody can do that.
I don't know.
Does it require an explanation? Like he was taking Israeli money and that's how he was able to get out of it?
No, but if you look at Roy Cohn, he did do a lot of good stuff, like busting up the mob.
Yeah,
but like another Jewish lawyer.
Yeah, but he was not like a Zionist type. He was a secular Jewish guy. He was not a religious dude. I mean, he was slamming ass.
The enforcer. That's what you called your
she looks
mom,
like a
right?
man in one video? No, I didn't call my mom the enforcer.
Yeah, I don't think any of us called our moms the enforcer. Size 2 shoe up in your ass, enforcing everything. And this is the other clip too I want to play. Clip 118, MK Ultra.
I would remind people that every single morning we all awaken to a safer, freer world because of George Bush.
We wake up to a safer world because of George Bush. The most basic form of mind control is repetition.
And Nicole, I would remind you and the people of Florence that all of us awaken every single day to a freer, safer world because of George
Okay, it's kind of hard to hear, but she's saying the same thing over and over again.
Air transmissions from the Bush-Clinton presidential election campaign in the 1990s, we can see that Bill Clinton was nothing more than a puppet to the puppet masters, which placed him in the White House. Bill Clinton's demeanor seems to be similar to a person who is under a hypnotic trance.
I know how he feels.
Did you ever see that footage of Clinton when he was sitting there getting ready for an interview?
And he's just disassociated?
Yeah, completely
disassociated. When he was in the middle of all that stressful shit with Monica?
Maybe. I'd look like that too if I was dealing with
Yeah,
Hillary's
when I'm stressed the
bullshit.
fuck out and I got to do some bullshit appearance, I'm disassociating, bro.
As bad as Bill Clinton right there, though?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. 100%. Better blowjobs than no jobs, am I right?
Unemployment's at 0% under Bill Clinton. Everyone's getting a blowjob.
All right, what's next?
All right, well, I use this as a segue into a couple more plagues that I think are incoming. But I wanted to cover a little bit, give the background. Back in 2022-23, when Ukraine was getting accused of all these biolabs and then what the Moscow was saying about it. This was from a few years ago.
Friday's Security Council meeting was called by Russia, and the country's ambassador to the United Nations expanded on allegations we'd already heard from Russia's Ministry of Defense, saying that the country had evidence that there were at least 30 laboratories in Ukraine that had been carrying out experiments with substances like the plague, anthrax, and other fatal diseases, and the ambassador said they had evidence that the United States was carrying that work out and also funding it. Now, Ukraine's ambassador to the UN took part in this briefing and denied those allegations. He said that Ukraine's healthcare system was run in full compliance with all international conventions.
As Russia is conducting a special military operation.
Yeah, and of course it was accused of just being Russian disinformation, but everything the Russians have really released has turned out to be true later. Our intelligence apparatus just leans on being able to accuse Russia of being full of shit. It's like momentum from the Cold War era where we brainwashed everybody in the United States of America to think that just because they were Soviets, you couldn't believe a word that they were saying.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of what their officials say in these UN meetings is pretty evergreen. They don't have to use deception or
and there's
propaganda or
YouTube
psyops.
promo videos from 2018, 2019 of the actual scientists working in these labs bragging about the research that they're doing on deadly pathogens, funded by the United States.
Yeah, I mean, you spoke on this in 2022. If we don't play clip 120, Ben Swan, these labs are linked to Metabiota. They're linked to
Of the past 10 years
Epstein.
Seems to be proven true. The more we dig into the Epstein
Love the
files.
music.
Tonight we're
It's
taking
not
a
annoying.
look at the issue of Ukrainian biolabs. Labs that we were told repeatedly over the past few years did not exist.
This
They
clip
were
is
nothing
MK
more than
Ultra.
a Russia-funded conspiracy theory. For years, anyone who questioned government-connected biological research, biolabs, throughout Ukraine, studying viruses or diseases, or research into underground genetics projects, was brushed off as a crazy person. See, I was one of those people. Here's part of some of those reports from 4 years ago.
New and exclusive information about the Ukraine biolab story that some media and politicians are still pretending don't exist. And now we have brand new information you're not going to see anywhere else because it's being scrubbed from the internet. Not only do we have new insight into what was inside of those labs, but also new information about the people working there, being given diplomatic immunity. And not only that, but that people living around some of those labs over the past decade have become sick with cholera and even swine flu. Plus, do these labs have anything to do with the overthrow of the Ukrainian government in 2014? When he was a Burisma executive and his father was vice president, Hunter Biden's company, Rosemont Seneca, invested $500,000 into a San Francisco-based pathogen research company called Metabiota. I was actually one of the first reporters in the country to tell this story back in 2021.
No, Jack Maxey was telling that story in 2020.
Yeah, but you're going to fluff yourself up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with you.
But I think it was strategically timed, Gabbard, releasing that the bioweapons laboratories are real. I don't think this was just, I have a little information, I'm going to drop it on my way out. This was all strategically timed. This is going to tie into Epstein, and this is only going to become more pertinent of a story because, well, let me explain. Let the clips explain. If we go to clip 121, this is CRISPR-Cas9. This is how you do gain-of-function research.
CRISPR gene editing works by using a specialized protein called Cas9, guided by RNA, to target and cut specific DNA sequences in a cell. This allows scientists to precisely edit genes by adding, removing, or altering genetic material. CRISPR acts like molecular scissors, enabling the correction of genetic defects, the enhancement of certain traits, or the study of gene functions. Its precision and efficiency make CRISPR a groundbreaking tool in medicine, agriculture, and research, with the potential to cure genetic diseases, create disease-resistant crops, and even engineer organisms in ways previously unimaginable.
And I said that to say this. If we play clip 122, This is one of the early pioneers in CRISPR gene editing research.
Are designer babies with enhanced intelligence or strength just around the corner?
Yes.
The simple answer is no.
It is. She lied.
Lying fucking whore.
The technology that makes this important conversation possible
You know she's covering
is
up her
called
neck
CRISPR,
because she's a fucking
a
vampire.
revolutionary gene editing tool that allows scientists to make precise changes to the DNA in any cell or organism. So fairly early on in the development of the CRISPR technology, I had a dream in which a scientist was
This is the best part.
introducing me to a man in a dark room.
An Austrian
and when
painter.
that man turned around, it was Adolf Hitler asking me to describe to him how the CRISPR technology worked and tell him how it could be useful. And I woke up from that dream with a real start, and that was
So
one
Hitler
of the
was time traveling to the future to talk to scientists that had figured out eugenics so that he could employ it into the fucking Third Reich?
I don't know, but this lady freaks me the fuck out. Why is she one of the early pioneers? And she's literally giving an interview to The Guardian saying, I had a dream. The scientist introduced me to this man in a dark suit. He turned around. It was Adolf Hitler. And he said, tell me about CRISPR gene editing technology.
I think was she like trying to give like a warning as to how it could be used and abused?
She's the one using and abusing it. Designer babies, gain of function research.
But she says in that clip that designer babies are nowhere near close.
Yeah, and that clip was 7 years old. Now look where we are with designer babies. We're right there.
Yeah.
But what the fuck does a dream about Adolf Hitler have to do with you being a pioneer researcher in this field?
Well, if we saw the whole fucking documentary, maybe she was warning about how technology could empower eugenicists.
And we know about screwworm. We know about Ebola. We know about the hentai virus, making everything anime and gay. But have you guys been hearing about all these other fucking things sweeping the nation, apparently? If we go to, we'll play it in reverse.
Of the genus Cephalo.
There's a fungus that infects insects, gets inside an ant.
Sorry for the noise on this one.
Travels through its circulatory system to the ant's brain and then floods it with hallucinogens, thus bending the ant.
The sound's a little bit too bad on this one. Oh, it's okay.
Has had a third of its body consumed by a fungus. Its genitals are gone. Its abdomen has been replaced by a mass of fungus.
So the fungus basically can take over. They can hijack the neurological system of insects, and the fear is that it could be transmitted to humans eventually.
Well, yes, this was found in cicadia, which come up every 13 to 17 years.
Yeah.
During the last brood that surfaced, they found out that this
the brood, bro, that's like a throwback to StarCraft.
Yeah, well, that's what they are. So that they're on cycles, like their larvae, they stay dormant,
right.
They come up. Now they're finding this transgenic fungus that eats the sexual organs, that eats a third of this cicadia's body mass, produces amphetamines essentially. So they keep going, even though in all honesty, they should be dead.
So it's producing stimulants to just keep them fucking invading Poland?
Yeah, to invade Poland. But this has now jumped to ants.
Okay, so this was cross insect jumping.
Yes.
Not totally cross, like, I guess it's a genus? There's species and genus, right? So it's cross species jumping because it's hitting different types of insects, but it's not jumping to like a whole different type of animal yet.
Until now. Now it's jumped to ants. And you see that Bill Gates is releasing these GMO mosquitoes. I'm like really worried that they're going to start using gain of function on all these different parasites.
I tell you what, I've seen more ticks in the last 30 days than I've seen in the last 20 years.
But a fucking fungus, dude. Imagine if these spores, they're talking about the ultimate aerosolization program. You inhale these, now it's a far cry from infecting a mammal, obviously. But if it's jumping transgenically.
What's that fucking disease the deer have again?
Chronic wasting disease.
Yeah, that's the one I'm worried about.
I don't know about you guys, but this is freaking me the fuck out. SRT with the super chat says Bak isn't responding to my feet picture DMs. Is there a technical issue? Brother, I'm not checking my phone, and I'm not going to check my DMs now. SRT, thank you so much for the super chat. And Honey Badger, thank you for the super chat. He said all this stuff probably Bill Gates created.
Yep.
Well, you see the timing with the biolabs report resurfacing. You see all these diseases everywhere resurfacing, essentially Ebola, Henta, Zika. And then now you have this transgenic fungal spore that went from cicadia to ants to who the fuck else knows next. Honey locked the kids. fucking hide your wife, hide everybody. We're fucking taking this country back. My nuts have receded into my stomach now because how the hell you can't 1776 your way out of some sort of fungal spore that jumps species to species. And that's of May 2025 that was noted. Last year, roughly a little over a year ago. I do have a couple more videos on the horsehair worm, but it's not really pertinent
Let's
to
skip
this.
the horsehair. Let's move on.
All right.
What about this Argentina stuff and the fires that are going on and Elon's connection to Argentina?
Yeah, well, if we go, let's give some context with clip 128 first.
Okay.
Thiel reportedly moved his family from the U.S. to Argentina's capital, Buenos Aires, as a refugee from high taxes, political turmoil, and potential catastrophes, like nuclear war and an AI meltdown. The PayPal co-founder and longtime Silicon Valley power player has met privately with Argentine President Javier Milei.
We played this clip the last show.
Purchased a mansion in one of Buenos Aires' most exclusive
Yeah, but we can do it
neighborhoods.
verbally. I don't want to belabor the point. Basically, he moved to Argentina, which is suspicious because it's very close to Antarctica, and is suspicious, of course, because the most likely explanation is that he was trying to escape taxes with the SpaceX IPO, since he went from $600 million to like $50 billion in valuation on that. But Argentina's awfully far away. Why go there of all places at this time specifically? Obviously, it's suspicious, and in the context of the fact that he's been giving lectures about the Antichrist.
And the fact that they all want to build their independent little islands or city-states outside of government reach.
Right.
And if you know about Joe Louis, like I was saying, he's already done that. The place called El Bozo in the Patagonia region.
Does Argentina have a what's it called? Not an expatriation.
Extradition treaty.
Extradition treaty.
I'm not sure. I can look that up. But I think to give context, we should play clip 131 and then 129, 130.
Okay, let's do one at a time. So
Yep.
131, okay?
Yep. This was a meeting between Netanyahu and Javier Milei not even that long ago.
It's like April 19th. All right. They're meeting and they're talking to each other. What's the point, homie?
So he went, let me bring you to my office, even though he's a visitor.
Right.
They have now announced that they're opening direct flights from Argentina to Israel.
In a battle against the
Obviously, the Iran war is linked to this because if Iran completely decimates Israel and destroys the whole fucking place, they need a secondary location to flee to, which you see all these billionaires fleeing ahead, a lot of them dual citizens of Israel.
It's not over yet. And any moment could...
All right, which clip next?
129, Matt Gaetz.
The Matt Gaetz Show on OAN.
Are Israeli settlers burning down land to take it over in the Americas? Tonight's story takes us to Patagonia. It's not just a woke clothing brand. Actually, Patagonia, Argentina is a sparsely populated, resource-rich area at the southern tip of South America. And it's on fire.
I'll show you a
Over
southern tip.
37,000 acres have been charred just this week. About 3,000 local residents and tourists have been evacuated. Habitat has been destroyed. Land has been rendered almost worthless for the people who live subsistence lives off of that very land. One of the major challenges in putting out these fires is that when the firefighters arrive, the equipment is often sabotaged. Take a look at what this Argentinian firefighter found when he got to the scene.
Well, here they broke the outlet, smashed the tank. You guys saying? You can tell they tried to puncture the tank with a knife or something. I mean, the guy's showing vandalized shit.
Yeah, and then they actually caught some of the Israeli tourists in the Patagonia region lighting shit on fire in clip 130.
So they burning it down so that the land gets cheaper and it can be acquired by some massive...
Yeah, ahead of deeper ties with Israel and Argentina, direct
Same
flights.
shit happens in Hawaii.
And,
There's bunkers being built in Hawaii. Same shit happens in Palisades. Weird.
And I played the disease release with this zombie fungus all of a sudden going nuts. They're all relocating for a reason. It's not just a tax shelter. You know, you don't go around.
Well, the fact that so much is happening in the same place. I mean, there's a million different tax shelters. You can go to Puerto Rico and be in a tax shelter.
Exact. Why Patagonia region of Argentina? And don't forget its proximity to Antarctica, Satan's throne room.
All right, what's next? Let's keep moving.
Should we go to 132, Elon's connection?
Yep. Global Witness presents They're all coming for the lithium. The lithium and our water.
Global demand is set to increase 40-fold by 2040.
The future is gonna be amazing!
Musk and Tesla are sourcing their lithium from Argentina.
Oh, there you go. That's why fucking Thiel's there. For me, Milei is a total dictatorship. I am the lion!
So you can see all the globalist deals. Like, they just reworked a loan from the IMF also.
The International Monetary Fund.
Yes. So
who's they? Argentina?
Argentina under Milei. So this dude's been positioned to cut so many different globalist deals. Argentina's gonna be the next expat for dual Israeli citizens and American
can you blame
citizens.
him? I mean, he's trying to fix his country. Obviously, lithium exports is it's like a huge resource that he has. So it makes sense that he would work out. I mean, I'm not a fan of the IMF by any means, but doesn't it make sense that he would work out trade deals for one of his most valuable resources?
It does make sense, but why would you make this an exclusive go zone for all these Israeli settlers? Why would you sell your country's mineral rights out for an IMF loan in the fucking first place? Like, you haven't learned your lessons from that book, Lessons from an Economic Hitman. It's a debt trap. We blame the Chinese for giving all these loans that can never be paid off, so countries make concessions. But we do the same thing here with the Bank of International Settlements and the IMF. So Milei is a complete stooge, in my opinion. That's why all these people are flocking, because it's a free-for-all. And never forget what the Patagonia region is. It's the land of giants.
What is it with you and the giants, bro? I thought that was fucking Gaza.
Yeah, that is also the land of giants, part 2.
So there's multiple lands of giants?
Yes.
Where else?
That's about it, part 1, part 2. And on that note, should we open it up to speakers?
Yeah, go ahead. Maze, what up, homie? She's pooping.
What is going on? So much. I actually just commented on most of the stuff as you guys were talking because I needed to get it out. But I was going to say, you should play that clip that I sent you because it's really interesting and it's going to give us a whole lot to talk about. And trust me, it's related and it's going to be like a shocker.
I DM'd it to Chase. Can you put it in the...
She sent it to me too.
Okay.
Trump assassination attempt leaked. Is that the one?
So Monday...
All right, I can play the audio of it right away. Is that okay? Or do you need the video too?
No, the audio's fine.
Okay.
Monday, July 8th, I was in a popular Twitter space, about 400 people. It was Alpha Warrior, Maze, Love, and MV.
Shout out, Maze!
And at about 1:45 Eastern Time, this is the announcement that came out on the Twitter space randomly.
You opened your mic, I saw you.
I did. I just need to see if this is true. I heard that there was an assassination attempt on Trump tonight and that Comcast is down. Is there anyone that's heard any of this or can validate any of this? And where the hell did Alpha go? Because he probably... all right, I don't know. I just wanted to announce that. I announced it before I validated.
Okay, and then about half an hour later, people were checking, and then this came out.
I reached out to her and asked her where she heard it, and she said that somebody, I guess where she's in Clubhouse right now, and she said that somebody that's in there in Pennsylvania, where apparently he's at, is reporting from there. And they said that the Comcast was down, and I guess it's down across the East Coast. I don't know. I'm looking into that too, but I haven't seen anything. I don't know. Hold on, Alpha. We coming to get you. But yeah, so it's. But apparently there was an attempt, and I don't know. I'm assuming that it eventually will make the news, but it just happened. I don't know. It's 1:00 in the morning. What the hell would he be doing out though? So I guess.
So random.
Huh?
Sorry, can I ask the question really? Okay, she even said Pennsylvania. No one even knows if he was in Pennsylvania on Monday or Tuesday. That's Monday night, Tuesday morning, a.m., 1:00 on Tuesday. He was shot on Saturday, the 13th. That was 7/9. What does that mean?
Wild. Wild.
I do vaguely remember hearing that, but I just dismissed it. I didn't. Funny that years later.
We talked about it with Mace before on one of our shows.
But I mean, at the time.
I didn't know we talked about it before. I wouldn't have made you sit through that.
No, that's okay. We have different listeners tonight.
Yeah, like there somehow this information got out, right? Like that's the crazy part, is that there was obviously some, an assassination attempt, by the way. Attempt is the key word. Let's highlight that, because whoever it was that, said this, they knew that it wasn't a successful attempt, right?
Right.
And this happening on Tuesday, and they knew Pennsylvania. I mean, it's just crazy. I can't, and of all people finding out about it and saying it on a space for it to be recorded, and everybody and their mama, okay, tagged every 3-letter agency under the sun. No one ever reached out to me to ask me any questions or like, where did this information come? We ended up having a space on that Saturday when it happened. And the space was like, it was one of the biggest spaces I think I ever had. But I shared the text messages because, everybody's grilling me. But none of the 3-letter agencies. And also to your point, I think it was Bak, or it might have been you, Chase, that said that like he canceled. I guess he stopped the investigation into his own assassination.
I don't know if he formally did or not. He probably did. I just know that we haven't heard shit about it. I just think it's weird that we haven't heard a damn thing.
What do you think the implications are, though? Like they did a practice run and someone saw that or something and then reported there was an attempt? Like I don't get what would be the purpose of leaking that? Because that was what, like 5 days before?
Unless there was a rehearsal. It's very weird. Has it been found out after the fact whether or not he was in Pennsylvania that Tuesday?
He was not.
He wasn't in Pennsylvania.
Well, I will say I didn't see the evidence or whatever myself, but according to somebody that was in the space, nobody even knew he was going to go there. It wasn't publicly known what his schedule, obviously they do that for security reasons, but apparently somebody knew, and he wasn't there until I think the day of or the day before. It was, I think, the day before. Anyway, I just thought it was pretty incredible. I don't know. That couldn't have been a coincidence. And I think that just goes to show. Also, when you saw, you asked if he really got shot, or the reason why I think it was a pill, one of those blood pills, you can see in that picture, when he stands up, or even, all of the footage, there's a V that forms right at one spot. They come together. It's not like blood was pouring down and it came and it actually met at his lips. Did you guys see that?
Oh, well, yeah,
Sure.
I did see it was running down his face. Yeah.
It's different if it was just kind of running down his face, because it could have gone above his lip, below his lip, but those 2 points, it could have been where he ripped the pill and then they went, out. I don't know. I can't help but to.
No, blood capsules. Hey, no theory is a bad theory at this point when you shut down the investigation. Contact even said he might be joining us in the chat, so keep an eye out for him for Ukraine news. But he even told me at the time, and I was arguing with him, he's like, Chow, there's no way that a 5.56 round would just go clean through his earlobe like that. You would put a Band-Aid on it.
Well, he didn't get... What part of the ear did he actually get shot in?
Allegedly in the upper cartilage.
Right.
And he's just like, that's just too clean. It doesn't make sense. And Michael Yan he's a combat photographer. He was saying on Alex Jones's show, if you see the pictures that the Pulitzer Prize winning photographers took, they see the bullet in some of the pictures.
Oh, because the
he
frame
goes,
rates
the
were high
odds
enough?
of you filming that bullet are so low, you might as well have it 0.0000. It's never going to happen. He goes, you know how many firefights I've taken pictures of? I've never caught a bullet in any of the pictures. So just more things to think about. Was this a Jewish ritual? I'm leaning yes. I don't know if it's crack smoke. Oh yeah, it was Common Sense Revolution. He goes, so what about Barron? Because the name of the show is Barron Trump fine?
I think Barron's pissed.
About what? What the fuck does he have to be pissed about? Insider trading, making millions off of crypto. In college, probably drinking mad beer, slamming puss. It's nothing to be mad about.
Do you think he's getting laid? I think he's mad because I think he knows that his dad's fucking it up.
Fucking what up?
They're
getting the bag.
The whole fucking presidency.
Okay, so you're under the impression that him looking rough is depression.
I think he's one of us. And he's like, Dad, don't do it. I think he's screaming at fucking, what's his face from Lord of the Rings to cast the ring into the fire. You know?
I don't know, man. I think there's some serious nepotism.
Barron Trump stepped back into the spotlight after 4 months away from the public eye. The 20-year-old was among the Trump family at a historic UFC event held right on the White House lawn Sunday night. Looking rowdy. Thousands of fans packed onto the South Lawn for the blockbuster star-studded fight night spectacle. Barron turned heads with noticeably longer, dark wavy hair and a bit of fresh facial stubble. He's gained weight, obviously, too. He sported a sharp navy blazer and a crisp white shirt, perfectly mirroring his famous father's style. Minus the fact that he's not wearing a tie. This marks only the second time the youngest Trump child has been seen publicly since the January inauguration. The NYU student took his place alongside his siblings and high-ranking administration officials. This is the clip that's going viral. Let's watch this.
Look at you, Father. The lights, the crowd, the cage. You needed all of this. I used to think you were the strongest man alive, but strong men don't perform. They don't beg a room to love them. They don't kneel to a foreign flag and call it strength.
This footage is wild, Bak. Look at him.
Everything, Father, and you traded it for applause. I see you now. All of you.
Anyway.
I have recently added him as number 4 to my list of potential Antichrist.
What is your list?
People. So, chat just asked that. Number 1, Mohammed bin Salman. I do think
Who's that?
That's the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia who's running the show over there.
Hell of a guy.
Yeah, I think the Antichrist figure that's going to emerge for the world is most likely going to be Muslim. Number 2,
I think it's fucking Big T in the chat.
Maybe. I don't know who that is. Number 2,
we were
Jared
talking to him
Kushner.
the other night. He's our boy. He was the guy that was super nice with me. Being rude. I was like rude the whole time, and he was totally cool about it.
Totally cool about it. No, he's not, he doesn't make my list.
Closest I ever got to converting to Islam was fucking Big T being so fucking nice.
2, Jared Kushner. 3, Elon, potentially. He wasn't on my list, but he's made number 3. And then 4, Barron. And that's
we need to make a list of 10, and we need to do like a poly market.
I don't know. 10's a pretty long list for Antichrist. You need like a big 3. Everyone should have a big 3 and stick to it.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's my list of potential Antichrists.
Big 3, more like Big T.
Who do you guys think's the Antichrist?
I appreciate the shout out, man.
Hey, shout out to Big T. Everybody follow him. He's the nicest Muslim on earth.
Yeah.
Who do I think the Antichrist is?
Yeah, shout him out. We're taking calls.
Like I think the idea that we're even in the era of revelations is just the psyop. That's the psyop. The biggest psyop right now is that we're in end times prophecy.
So you think that we're not even close to end times?
No, bro. Like
I love that about you, Maze. Honestly, I love that about you because everybody always says the end is near, but it never happens.
Yeah. I think that that's what they're trying to make everyone believe. I think that that's what they're using for all of the geostrategic positioning. It's
I just love how the B-roll AI is playing scenes from Truman Show right now as you talk, Maze.
Okay, so Maze thinks that the whole thing's a psyop, but if you had to give me one,
yeah, come on, Maze, answer the question.
Yeah, give me an A, Maze.
I mean, I think that Netanyahu is the devil incarnate, but then there's so many of them because if you look at Smotrich and if you look at Ben Gvir is just the Satan. Like, I don't know. I can't stand any of them. And I would say that, but they're not charming. So maybe,
it's got to be somebody charming, right?
Mm-hmm.
It does, doesn't it? I know Kushner's not it. He's not even really whatever. I don't know. Let me think about it.
All right. Do we have a Antichrist candidate?
Deese is raising his hand. Deese, go ahead.
Hey everyone.
Hey, dude.
Maze, I just dropped into the purple pill a picture I keep going back to of Barron Trump. It's from March, New York Times, so you can verify. CBS Radio shut down. I'm like, holy shit, that's Barron Trump. And I know I keep bugging you to do a time travel space, and I'm not really into woo woo, but can somebody please tell me I'm not losing my mind? And that they're the spitting image. I love your woo woo spaces, especially your Terria, but if somebody could go take a look and just tell me I'm not losing my ever loving mind.
Wow, that 100% looks
you.
like him. Wait, who is this?
I think, well, it's just
It's Taryn Brump.
somebody who worked, somebody who worked at CBS Radio, but my God, compared to Barron, it's like so similar, I think.
I see the zoomed out picture. That is incredibly interesting. Wow. I put it in the nest for those to make it easy to find it. That does look just like him.
And there's a book about this, supposedly. That's how little time
Oh,
I've
yeah,
spent
it's a
on it. But
trilogy. It's a trilogy. You guys have heard of this, right? I know Bach has. He
Yeah.
has to. He's conspiracy level, like, yeah. Okay, so there's a trilogy that was written in the 1800s. It was the last decade of this. It was like 1896, I think, what the last one was written. And it included, basically, one was about this kid that went on an underground journey with his dog. It was Barron Trump's underground journey, I think. And what's crazy is when you read the book, you actually hear him like making those one-liner type of insults, like he did with Crooked Hillary and whatever. Like he was referring to the people underground in that civilization that he found or whatever. He was talking to them like that. It was really interesting. And then there was one that was called The Last President. And so, oh shit, sorry, I'm playing poker at the same time, you guys. My apologies. I just made a call on accident. Thanks guys. No, just kidding.
Sorry.
But yeah, so there was the other one that was called The Last President, which was really interesting too. Now, the reason why this turned into such a conspiracy is because Donald Trump's great uncle was one of the people that went with the OSS at that time to take all of Tesla's work and go through it and see what was there. And they determined that there was nothing there that was, substantial, that he was just looking into wireless energy. But
So I've got an outline here if you want to play poker for a second. So book one, The Buried Bark, origin story, 1870s New York. In the gritty gas-lit streets of post-Civil War Manhattan, young Frederick Trump, Donald Trump's grandfather, arrives as a German immigrant and begins building his fortune in real estate and boarding houses. He discovers a massive, intelligent German Shepherd-type dog named Baron, later inspiring the name Baron, living in the labyrinthine underground tunnels and cellars beneath Fifth Avenue, remnants of old Dutch settlements, smuggling routes, and early subway excavations. The dog escaped from a secretive European bloodline of guardian hounds bred for loyalty, protection, and uncanny intuition, saves Frederick from a rival gang attempting to sabotage his first property deal. Baron proves to have near-human intelligence. He uncovers hidden documents, tracks down debtors, and instinctively knows which buildings will boom in value. Frederick adopts him as a silent partner. In the climax, they thwart a corrupt Tammany Hall plot to seize prime real estate. Baron leads an underground escape through flooded tunnels, cementing the Trump family's early foothold in New York. Similarities to the Trump family today: ruthless deal-making in chaotic environments, turning immigrant hustle into empire building, family loyalty. Baron is the ultimate protector and an instinct for valuable real estate, literal and metaphorical. Book 2, Tunnels of Legacy, Rise and Peril, 1890s to early 1900s. Now a legendary figure in New York's underbelly, Baron, who ages slowly due to his mysterious lineage, guards the expanding Trump family business while Frederick's son, Fred Trump Sr.'s father, takes over. The family faces threats from underground criminal syndicates, rival developers, and even supernatural elements. Whispers of Baron being part of an ancient underground covenant tied to protective spirits of the city. Baron mentors young Fred Trump Sr., Donald's father, teaching him through actions, sniffing out fraud in construction contracts, protecting family properties during economic panics, and navigating secret tunnels that connect key Trump buildings. Central conflict: a rival family echoing old money elites tries to bury the Trumps in scandal and debt. Barron leads daring underground heists to recover stolen deeds and expose corruption in the press. The book ends with Barron retiring into the deepest tunnels beneath what will become modern Trump Tower sites, entering a long slumber as the 20th century dawns, his bloodline subtly passed on through symbolic family traits. Similarities to Trump family today, resilience, all the stuff, yada, yada. Now, book 3, The Awakened Heir, Modern Reckoning. In present day, young Barron Trump begins having vivid dreams of tunnels and a majestic dog calling to him. Strange events unfold, mysterious protection during public appearances, intuitive business insights, and discoveries of old family artifacts in Trump Tower basements. Barron awakens due to a modern threat, a global cabal seeking to undermine the Trump empire through deep state tunnels of power, financial sabotage, and information warfare. Barron, inheriting the hound spirit, heightened perception, unyielding loyalty, and strategic mind, ventures into the now sealed underground world beneath New York and family allies. He reunites with the immortal spectral Barron. Together they navigate modern perils, digital surveillance, media manipulation, and literal underground conspiracies involving old tunnels, repurposed for data centers and smuggling. Epic finale. All right, that's what it says. I don't know if it's making shit up or if that's what the actual trilogy is about.
I'm just real quick. Shout out to Deuce Fault for your super chat. He wants me to say he has pythons for arms and he has one in his pants as well. Shout out to Honey Badger. He thinks the Antichrist may be Starmer. I don't think so. He can't hit a punching bag. Or Vanderladen. That pic of Barron kind of looks like Trudeau. Thank you guys for the super chat. And I just want to add real quick. It was Trump's uncle John Trump who worked with MIT. Was working on the CERN project with MIT and came into possession of Tesla's work after the FBI.
Yeah, and I asked Grok to find the historical trilogy, and it just made one up. So that's what that was. Travels and Adventures of Little Barron Trump and His Wonderful Dog Bulger apparently is the original one. Does that sound more like it, Maze?
Wait, what? Can you repeat the name?
Yeah, Travels and Adventures of Little Barron Trump and His Wonderful Dog.
Yeah, that's one of them.
The second one, Barron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey.
Yep, that's the second.
And the third one is
The Last President.
Yes, 1896.
I love that you just read that whole thing, though.
I know, that was kind of a cool story. Sorry about that, guys. At least I admitted it.
I was like, data centers, what the fuck?
Yeah, I'm like, as soon as I saw data centers, I'm like, there's no fucking way. Is this Nostradamus writing this fucking book? Sorry about that. I thought it was giving me historical information, but it was just giving me an outline for a hypothetical trilogy.
Look, I knew when it said he escaped and went underground, I'm like, uh-oh, bunkers. And then Destiny pulls up. I mean, right as I thought it, you know what I'm saying? I see her cute little like pink profile pop up because she's always talking about the bunkers.
Bunkers?
But, oh, yeah.
We should go to Big T next, but I do, can we pull up that? I really need to get you guys' take on this because I don't know what the fuck to think about this. What the fuck's going up with the 70 school children they rescued from the tunnels in New York, and they said they got lost in there in the field trip?
Bro, I have no idea. I'm so glad. I was really busy when somebody brought that up, and I didn't get a chance to actually look into it, but somebody put it in the comments. Let me go see if I can find it.
Yeah, we covered that a little bit like last week or something.
No,
right?
but we never did the
deep dive. They just said that there were 70 kids that were found randomly.
That's a spin. Like what?
They brought them all to the UFC event.
Like they got lost chasing the clown on a field trip. Like, do you think someone found the girls and then the media and like the authorities had to come and be like, all right, how do we spin this in a way that
it was all girls?
What do you mean, the clown? What?
Well, the clown would hang out in the sewer system like that. So I'm just
he was
saying,
trying to make a joke, a Stephen King joke.
But was it all girls that they found?
I don't think so. Did you make that up too, Bak?
I didn't even say all girls. I did. The news clip I saw was all girls in the news clip.
Gotcha.
Can we use Darvis to pull the clip up?
Yeah, is there a clip?
No, I didn't get the clip.
There's a clip. I have. Let me go find it.
But we got to suss into this. That makes no sense.
Darvis can find it, I bet.
That's a lot of angry parents that I have not heard or seen anything from. Like, what? How?
Yeah, this says 70 girls went exploring, got lost underground. Is this it?
No, that's Klaus Schwab.
No, dog. I guess you're not looking at this one.
When I spoke with the Nyack mayor, he says he could not believe the phone call he received early this afternoon. Now, we're at Memorial Park, and earlier there were about 70 teenage girls who were on a field trip from Muncie, and they explored this creek here, which is the Nyack Creek, and then they wandered through that culvert that you see there. According to Mayor Joe Rand, the group of girls wandered through the underground tunnel that runs
What are they
under the
wearing?
village. They were walking upstream. He says at some point they got disoriented and were unable to find their way back. Mayor Rand says some of them explored for nearly half a mile. The girls were all located at various points around Nyack, most of them at Maine and Franklin. Now, he says this technically wasn't a rescue.
The police responded very quickly, and we were lucky that there was actually an Orangetown police officer who was doing a foot patrol right in the area, so he was able to respond very quickly. They all got out of their own power, and no one was seriously hurt, and that's what we're really grateful for.
Okay, so it must have been an all-girls school or something. They went on a field trip. They got lost in some caves, and then they found them.
70 of them, though?
How the hell does that even happen? Like, who is
Can you imagine 70 girls arguing about how to get back?
Also,
Oh, I
you're
would've been in
following a
jail.
fucking waterway. Like, how did you get lost?
Dude, I'll tell you, there's not. What do you have? 70 Amelia Earharts flying into the tunnels to explore.
She got lost.
How many women? Girls. They're not trying to explore fucking tunnels.
They were trying to smoke one-hitters.
I definitely
Give hand jobs.
I mean, somebody had to go in there first and thought it was a cool idea. Like, I don't know.
If Vicky's doing it, we all should do it.
They saw the clown.
You think you can get 70 girls to agree on one thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's explore a tunnel.
Yeah.
You know, women are not good in navigation, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to.
Amelia Earhart.
Can I share something with you guys that relates to this? Speaking of the tunnels.
Yeah, of course. Go ahead.
Of course.
Okay. All right. So we're talking about these 70 women, 70 girls that went into this cave and didn't come back out, right? And they just disappeared. So just
they found them.
Well, they right, but I mean, this is what I'm trying to tell you is that just to rewind what we're talking about, the Antichrist, right? And just to make a complete loop on everything that we've been talking about in the past few weeks or whatever in history and spaces, that the Antichrist, the whole thing is, of course, with the Israeli thing, their whole beef right now is because they're trying to bring the Antichrist. Well, apparently, and this is what is going on, and this is what's being said, is that the Antichrist, of course, is on Earth as we speak, and that's why they're going so hard. You know what I mean? And pushing these wars and doing what they're doing is because the Antichrist, as we speak, is and it's going to show itself. This is what legend has it, that it's going to show itself real soon, because apparently it's now here on Earth and it is in a remote island somewhere, and that's why they got the red heifers over there, and they're trying to slaughter them, is because they know time is clicking down. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm just sharing this as a fact that people don't know of why they're, besides them being so blood hungry, is because the sand bottle is ticking. You know what I'm saying? And it's really, really getting close to the time for them, or legend, or religion, for the Antichrist to pop out as we speak. And supposedly it's in some remote island in a cave, right? So, and if you want me to go a little bit further, just to educate you a little bit of something that probably people don't know about, I would love to, but it's your space, and let me know.
No, bro.
You,
Tell me everything. When it comes to Antichrist news, I'm right there with you, bro.
Okay. All right. So I'm sure a lot of people don't know about this, but it's called, this man's called Imam Mahdi is-Salam, right? Which goes back to the bloodline of Jesus Christ and the Prophet Muhammad Rasulullah Sallam. So this person as well is on Earth as we speak, right? But he hasn't showed himself. And this is supposed to be the person that's supposed to open. He's the one that's going to fight the Antichrist away, and to get the disbelievers to be like, yo, listen, you know, this guy is fraudulent. Like as an example, like we can say Barron Trump or Donald Trump is the Antichrist, right? And everybody's like, no, listen, wait, open your eyes. This guy is supposed to open up your eyes and be like, yo, listen, follow the truth. Don't follow the bullshit. And then, of course, after that, Jesus comes back and comes down from the heavens and reveals himself. But this is the history, and this is apparently what is supposed to be going down in many religions, such as Israeli, Judaism, and Islam. So
But
I'm just
where
giving you guys a rundown.
can I ask you where did you hear that this person is alive now?
Where did I? So okay, all right. Just to give you a there's a sheikh. I don't know if you guys know what a sheikh is. Like he's an
Yeah.
imam. All right, a very famous imam here in America, very well known. His name is so I can give you. I don't butcher it. Sheikh Nurjan Morhani. So he's a very famous sheikh. Like a lot of influencers and stuff know about him and follow him, such as Don Luker. I mean, I'm sure you guys have heard of him, but anyway. So he's very very embedded into the religion. So he'll like he'll basically give you, man, whatever he says. I'm serious. Like if you follow this man, like what he says goes. Like it's not
Dom
like he doesn't
Luker, is
miss.
that what you're saying?
Was that
Who?
his name is Sheikh Nurjan.
Oh, what did you say about okay. Go ahead.
So what I'm saying is that he doesn't like when it comes down to breaking down the religions, both religions, all three religions, Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. Like, man, he breaks it down to a T and breaks down timelines and breaks down reasons and breaks down actually future events that would happen before they would even happen, like even wars and stuff. And he's like, all right, watch out, even with COVID. Like, man, he knew COVID, like he announced COVID was coming. He's like, they're gonna let you guys, they're gonna put you guys they're gonna seclude you in your homes. Like he would say it subliminally without saying the actual thing. And then it would actually happen because of just the knowledge of their circle. And the reason why of their circle, this is where it comes back to, right? The circle is that all these people are embedded with each other. They all know what's going on. Like I'm talking about the real true religion. Like, 'cause as an example, there are 300-year-old rabbis out here, man. Like there's like that are so I don't know. I mean, because I'm going too deep.
300-year-old.
Like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't mean to be jumping around, but these people are so knowledgeable, and they're so and they're so ancient. It's almost like they're not aliens or alienated, but they're just part of. How do I say it, man? The circle, the circle of religion. You know what I'm saying? Like man. It's. I'm sorry. Like I'm just trying to put it in so many words, but my mind is racing. And this is don't think I'm some freak or something that's like making this shit up, and I'm like
No.
into conspiracies. That's not the person I am. I'm not a conspiracy kind of person.
I
I'm just
am.
giving
Yes,
you guys
you are.
facts.
Okay, yes,
No,
you
I'm not.
are, and it's okay. There's
You
nothing wrong
want to
with
put me in that
conspiracies.
category? No, I'm
No,
just
bro.
telling
I
you.
mean, I'm a conspiracy theorist. Listen,
I'm,
we're batting 1,000. You should literally take that as a
Yeah, bro. We get it
okay,
right more
all right,
often than the
cool.
weatherman.
But I'm just trying to break down the religions so that way people understand why things are going on in this time frame, for what reason, and what is behind it and what is ahead of it, so people understand. They're like, okay, why are they doing this, and why isn't somebody doing this, and who's the Antichrist, and what is it going to be, some monster that's just going to come up? Well, it's something like that, but apparently, like I said, I mean, these are the people that know more than we do. So when they say they're fighting in tunnels and all this other stuff, like they, I mean, like not fighting in tunnels, like they be going into tunnels and stuff like that. That shit is true. You know what I'm saying? That shit really does exist. And to this day, these societies, these ancient religious societies, like I'm talking about the real deal imams and stuff like that. They have meetings, let's just say in Turkey. You see what I'm saying? And they're underground, but they're just literal, like they're just going through the script. They're like, all right, this is what happened. This is what's going to go down. This is what's happening now. Okay, so we have to prepare our people for this. Like they don't basically just tell you what's gonna happen. They just give you a heads up, like, hey, get yourself together, get prepared. There's gonna be a conflict. Like that kind of thing. Like they announce it, but not technically. They just give you little bits and pieces of it. You see what I'm saying? And of course, in the Christian sector, they have their own little thing that they deal with, and believe it or not, theirs is above ground, but it's kind of weird. They're more what do they call it? I can say, if I can put it this way, it's like they're more. It's not secretive, but just like the Catholic Church,
Covert,
you know,
esoteric,
there you go.
exclusive.
Yes, very exclusive. They don't just put it out. Let's just say they don't warn all the so many pieces, but this shit exists. You see what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, we have to just do our research and find out. And it's true. You know, when you like at first you hear about it, you're like, man, that's some shit from like 3,000 years ago. It's some shit that don't even exist. It's made up. They only had books, you know. But once you start putting the puzzles together, just like Maze does like doing, and she's really well at doing it, shit starts making sense. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, hold on, this shit ain't really a conspiracy. This shit really is. It's starting to. It's starting to cook here. You know what I'm saying? Something's cooking. You know, so it's up to you if
Yeah,
you want.
patterns. Like you begin to see patterns
Yes.
and stuff.
Thank you
I
for
got
wording it right for me. Thank you.
No, you're good. I got you. So yeah, I do find that fascinating when looking at theology across all the different even religions. And when you look at like the Sumerian tablets have, Bible stories in it, which is really interesting. But then like you also look at mythology and whatever. But when it comes to I believe in all that. Like I'm not before Bach freaks out, the soothsaying or whatever. But I do believe that there's absolutely, connection with the planet. There's something beyond what we can perceive and see. I mean, I'm not denying that, but I don't think that necessarily like the way that the prophecies are written and the way like I've read the Bible cover to cover. Like I don't see that as literal. And I don't, but I'm ever to each its own. So I don't know. Like, I think that I think the Antichrist is basically I feel like it is the temptation and the nihilist type of sentiment of the world that's kind of growing. I think that because it's easy to do that. It's charming. It's something that people want to just be entertained and dazzled, and they forgot what it means to like put skin in the game and like everything material we leave behind, like the investment in the soul. Like if people
Not if you're
just
buried with it.
if people right, that's what I'm saying. Exactly. Like if people you what with the soul?
Yeah, if you bury people with their slaves, they get their slaves in the afterlife.
See, I feel like the people that invest more, I mean, put more into the world than they take out. Like, if that was something that happened like from generation to generation, that's the only thing that we really taught as a virtue is to just, put more into the world than you take out. Because most people right now are just scheming to get whatever they can. Like, I don't know. I mean, that could be just.
So maybe just to add on to what you were saying, and we've spoken about it before with truth. In the end of the day, I mean, we know the Bible was. What language was the Bible written in?
A few.
The original
It
Bible.
was in
Hebrew,
well,
Greek.
yeah.
No.
It was in Greek, and Aramaic.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I meant.
So that was the original language that the Bible was written traditionally, and then I think it got translated into Hebrew at some point, right? So when the Hebrews got their hands on it, and I'm gonna relay something to you guys that maybe not too many people do know, and this is a fact. So when you write a sentence in Hebrew, right? I'm talking about just the smallest slit on a letter, a small slit down or up, or a dot changes not the meaning of the word. It changes the meaning of a whole sentence, if you're following what I'm saying. So that's why there are so many, there's so many different Bibles and books, like the Old Testament, New Testament. I mean, you guys know better than I do when it comes down to so many different kind of
So you're saying
Christianity.
that there's a high likelihood of mistranslation?
Many times over. Yes, that's a fact. Yes, it is. Yes, absolutely. I can guarantee you that. And that's been proven in the past, actually. I don't have a way of showing you now, but I would forward it to you guys later. But I've witnessed it and seen the understanding of it, because that is and that's where the manipulation started. You see what I'm saying? Once they got their hands on it is when they started misguiding trying to misguide the Christian
And
religion.
they started writing it 70 years, I believe. So I started doing a little bit of research. Like when just understanding, when was there ever like a word written that was like the very first time that the Bible, like anything that, like, where did they start like writing it? Well, it was Moses, right? Moses with the 10 Commandments
Hell
or
of a
whatever. Yeah. And so I think that that's kind of where like it all began. But then it was 70 years that all of this was just told until they ended up writing it on the papyrus. And so how, I don't know. So
So
how
yes.
I don't know, whatever.
So I mean, and you can look into it. You can look into the to the Hebrew language at many times over at your own time or anybody else's time. And like I said, the smallest little change of I'm talking about like a slit or a slash on a letter
Yeah.
changes the meaning of a sentence. Again, not a word. So you can tell me what that would do to manipulate or change, beliefs and people's thoughts, and how how many times throughout the years has the Bible been, you know,
Well, then
changed?
after in the Dark Ages, that you had Martin Luther who wrote the Bible. Didn't he like rewrite it after they burned them all?
Yes.
And then
That's
it
my
was
point to you.
yeah, I don't know.
All right, I actually have it. I have it pulled up. So the Old
There you go.
Testament was mostly written in Hebrew from roughly 1400 to 400 BC. Some later sections, including parts of Daniel, Ezra, and one verse in Jeremiah, were written in Aramaic. The New Testament was entirely in Koine Greek, the common Greek of the Eastern Mediterranean, written in the 1st century AD. And then the Septuagint, which was the Old Testament being translated into Greek as well, was the 2nd and 3rd centuries BC, it looks like. And then 2nd and 4th centuries AD, translation into languages like Syriac and others as Christianity spread. And there was the Latin Vulgate in the early 5th century, which was, of course, the Roman Catholic Church making it all Latin. And then Old English, 1380s from the Vulgate, Middle English, and then German from Martin Luther in 1522. And then it kind of spread from German to everything.
So let me ask you this, Chase. And you seem like a very intelligent human being, obviously, and so is the rest of the panel here. So I can guarantee you can lay all these Bibles out, and I can damn sure guarantee. And I haven't written all of them, but they definitely don't match, and they're not even close to matching in their words, right? So
well, even the English translations don't match. I mean, if you read the Message, it's like basically a paraphrased translation.
Yeah, but I can guarantee you that there's, like you said, there's a paraphrase in translation, but there's a lot of meanings that are flipped around to where it's like, well, this doesn't make sense because it said this over in this chapter
100%.
as an example.
Yeah, 100%.
But the Quran as an example, or the Torah, have never been messed with, right? I mean,
you don't think you don't think there's issues of understanding the Quran if you read it in English versus if you read it in the original language?
No, the original Quran, the way it was handed from day one is the same way it is today. It's never been changed.
I know, but the translations, like, don't you think things get lost in translation? Like, if I read it in English versus if I learn the original language in which it was written and then read it in that, you know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing. So most people that do recite the Quran, Chase, have to first, let's just say they learn it in their language, and then they have to learn it in Arabic. They have to learn how to read the Quran in Arabic. That is a mandatory thing. That is not something you can't just say, all right, well, I read the Quran, I read it in English. No. You get warmed up in English as an example, but you have to learn how to recite it in Arabic, because when we pray as Muslims, we recite it in Arabic. So everything is in Arabic and everything is from the Quran. So I'm just giving. I'm not trying to put. I'm just explaining it to you in Islam, right?
Sure.
So the same thing in the Torah, right? So the Torah, of course, is written in Hebrew, but when they have it translated to English, if you did get an English version, that I'm sure that's going to be totally different, right? I mean, it's night and day. But the Torah has never been changed, or there's a new Torah or an old Torah or the first Torah. Like I'm just saying as an example.
Yeah, but the original Greek in which the New Testament was written hasn't been changed.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I'm just like you can apply the same process back to like the Christian Bible, and you could say, all right, well, if you really want to understand it, then you have to understand how to read it and memorize it in the original language. Most Christians don't do that. In defense of what you're saying, most Christians don't read the New Testament with the original Greek word for word, like in a what's it called, a bilinear
Most people
Bible.
aren't philologists to be able to do that either. Like, it's kind of a
Yeah.
language that's not really around.
Yeah, but the Greek hasn't been changed. Is what I'm trying to say.
All right, I gotta get. I've been dying to say this whole discussion. This is my Antichrist theory, and I've been working on this most of my adult life, and I want this on the record so we can cut clips of it later when I'm right. This is what's going to happen, guys. There are 2 Abrahamic religions out of the 3 that are waiting for a Messiah, unless you're a Messianic Jew. For Islam, it's the Mahdi. For the Jews, it's the Mashiach. Both, at best, think Christ was a prophet, but they don't think he's the Messiah, God embodied in the flesh. So this is what you're going to see happen. There's a plan to get the Western world at war with Islam and be destroyed in the process. Very similar to what Albert Pike said in the Mazzini letter, getting the Zionists to fight the Mohammedans. So you're going to see Israel over-leveraged. They're going to destroy the Al-Aqsa Mosque to try to do the temple prophecy. That's going to piss off the Islamic world, and Shia and Sunni are going to unite for the first time ever. They're going to invade Israel with the help of Gog and Magog, which is BRICS, which is China and Russia. They're going to dismantle Israel. Israel will no longer exist. Then you're going to see them in Patagonia and all these other little sanctuaries they have set up. At that time, the United States is not going to defend Israel, and you can see the quote unquote, I say this lightly, anti-Semitic behavior, America first, America only, as it should be, but you can see all the lineup and the setup for this. We're not going to defend Israel. Then the United States is most likely going to be destroyed in a nuclear first strike, because I don't think that there is mutually assured destruction. And I think that mole nukes have been planted on the eastern and western coast, and that traitors, it's not necessarily like a pure Islamic thing or a pure Judaic thing or even a pure Christian thing. Traitors in the Chinese government, the Russian government, the Israeli government, they're all planning this like they're using the Bible like a prophecy plan, and they're going step by step. So you're going to see talk of a START treaty, strategic arms reduction treaty. The U.S. is going to disarm. Israel's going to be invaded. We're not going to help defend them. And then we're going to disarm, and we're going to be destroyed in a nuclear first strike. That's Babylon falling in 1 hour, Mystery Babylon. At that point, the Middle East will become the focal point of the world because the vacuum that the West has left. There is no United States anymore. We're in civil war. We've been balkanized. Are the petrodollars gone? We've just been hit and melted with a nuclear first strike. At that point, the Mahdi, which I believe one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse is Islam, the Mahdi will be in full control of the Holy Lands, and then he'll start a one world religion that's a fusion of Christianity, Islam, maybe some elements of Judaism, but they'll be so hated, maybe not, and earth worship. And at that point, he'll reconstruct the holy sites. The dominant religion in the world will be a new age fusion Islam, and then he will institute the mark of the beast using all this architecture that the PayPal mafia has set up. The loitering drones, the Starlink, the crypto connected to your Neuralink, programmable money, and that's my theory.
That was the coolest thing you've ever said to me.
So when Jesus comes down, right?
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing is that the Muslims and the Christians are supposed to team together and fight the Jews, apparently, right? So that's why the whole spin game about this and what is going on, why do you think that they label the Muslims as terrorists? Because they don't want the Christians to be in good terms with the Muslims, because they know in the end of days that the Christians and the Muslims are going to get together and go against the Jews. That's what's been, of course, recited. That's not what I'm saying. That's just what's been said. So, just to sum it up and make it relatable to everybody, instead of the Christians and the Muslims beefing right now, like, oh man, those Muslims are terrorists, blow them up, and the Jews are like, yeah, they're bad. when Jesus comes down, the Jews are supposed to be the ops, and we're supposed to be, on one team. So that's their whole reasoning behind this. Just to give you guys a background story of why they're always trying to implement the Muslims to be the bad guy, because they don't want the Christians to get along with the Muslims. Like, I'm just letting you know, in their religion, it's not just the Islamic religion, but this is even in Christianity if you do your research. So that's that's the story behind it. So I mean, just so you guys know. But yes, and just like you said, they're supposed to go into the El Aqsa Mosque. Well, that's the reason why, if you guys don't know, that they're underneath the ground of El Aqsa Mosque every year, like throughout the whole year. They're just like
I think they already planted explosives under there, and they're going to blame Iran or some other power once they blow it up. Who knows? Could be 5 years, 10.
It gets better than that, bud. So they're waiting for it. So they have dug underneath to make it so weak underground, to where if there is like some bullshit bomb that hits, like, let's just say like 3 miles away or something, to where one day it's just going to collapse. You know what I'm saying? It's just going to collapse into the ground, and then they can build their holy temple where the El Aqsa Mosque is. So that's and this is a fact. This is not something that I just read somewhere. Like, this is something that has been said over and over, even by Israeli Jews. Yeah, they're chipping away at it to make sure that thing falls on itself, and then they're able to be like, oh no, we didn't drop it. You guys dropped it. I mean, apparently old age dropped it, and then a bomb hit, and this is this is what happened. But it's not a bomb that's going to directly hit it. Just to give you a background.
Interesting. They just want it to collapse naturally, apparently naturally.
Yeah, keep their hands clean as usual.
Like Building 7.
My whole thing about that, T, is I don't see Muslims uniting with Christians against worldwide Jewry at the end of this, because the whole point if you look at the religions, the 3 main Abrahamic religions, 2 of them, they're waiting for a Messiah. One of them claims the Messiah has already come, Jesus, and he will return.
Yeah, but we're still waiting for him in the sense that we want him to come back.
Yeah, but it's his return, not his first appearance. So I do think you're going to see, and this is not a knock on Muslims. I believe the most Muslims today will be considered apostates. Just like if you went to the most hardline Islamists in the world, they would consider you an apostate for being essentially an American Muslim. They're not, co-equal. They're not, you can't mingle the two. But I do firmly believe that the Mahdi, the Messiah, is one and the same. It is the Antichrist, and that this figure, after all the destruction, because we know that this person's the alleged Prince of Peace that appears in the midst of World War III and stops and calms everything. The real signal here is you're going to see this quote-unquote Messiah figure make an alliance with the Vatican Church. That is the thing to look for. So I don't see, like, this person is going to persecute Muslims as they are today, just like they're going to persecute Jews, just like they're going to persecute modern-day Christians. So this is like an essentially like a messiah of a new world fusion religion, a new one-world religion that borrows elements from all the 3 Abrahamic faiths and then meshes it together with earth worship, Gaia worship. And you see the little horn and the big horn, whatever horns, that's the real alliance to see who this Antichrist figure is when you see them ally with the Vatican.
But I do want to correct you on one thing. Islam and the Islamic religion believes in Jesus Christ, may peace be upon him, and they believe in his return. We never. This is not his first. We believe that he never died. He rose into the sky and was saved, so he wouldn't be crucified. There was somebody else that got crucified in his place. That's the Islamic belief. So of course we believe and we look forward to Jesus Christ coming back into earth, of course, at some point.
Yeah, but from a Christian perspective, that's heretical. Like, I'm not knocking you right now. I'm just saying, like,
no, I know.
Christians will never be cool with that interpretation. Well,
that's exactly. But that's just the Islamic. I'm just letting you know, like, so we educate each other on religious beliefs, right? So it's not who's right and who's wrong, because everybody's wrong at this point because nobody sees anything. Right?
Bak is right. Bak's actually the Messiah.
Hey, don't say anything heretical like that.
He knows him.
He didn't mean it.
I'm kidding.
God.
I'm kidding.
But like that, there is a huge difference though, T. I respect you, and we're all Abrahamic faiths. Like Islam exists for a reason, to my beliefs, because Abraham was supposed to nut in Sarah and he didn't, and he nutted in Hagar, and then God said, "I will bless this race," and that is Ishmael, the wild hunter. That is the Semitic nations. But because we didn't do that, because Abraham didn't listen and he was disobedient, God blessed another, which was meant for who was Isaac? Who was the son?
That was Isaac and Esau.
Yeah, Isaac and Esau. That's what
Jacob and Esau.
I said, what did I say? Ishmael. Yeah. Jacob and Esau. So that's my biblical take on it. But the main fundamental difference is Muslims and Jews, except for Messianic Jews, they don't believe that Jesus was God in the flesh, and that's the big problem. Like, it's not good enough to Christians that he's a prophet or some divine figure, even equal to Muhammad.
There are Christian denominations that are not Trinitarian that believe Jesus Christ was the Messiah and the Son of God, but not God himself.
Yeah, so that's the main belief, and it even says that first time that Jesus came, he was a sacrificial lamb. He came all gentle, all lamb-like, but this time he's coming as a warrior on a white horse, and if you talk shit, he's gonna kill you with his tongue that has a spear on it, like you know.
He's gonna have some sharp words.
Yeah, so that's like the main difference here. But we're all brothers. Like if you're alive, God conceived you in the womb. There's a reason you're here, and it's not up to me to judge anyone. But I do find it very strange that only one religion thinks that the Messiah has already come, and the other two religions, all in the Middle East, centered around the holy sites, think they're waiting for him. And another thing to look out for is the two witnesses. I believe I might have identified one of them via YouTube.
What are you talking about?
There's some weird guy, Benjamin something, who has bad teeth and a beard, but I think he might be one of the witnesses if we are in that time period.
What are you talking about?
There's a guy who makes YouTube videos. His name's Benjamin something in Jerusalem. He might be one of the two witnesses that are in sackcloth that prophesy for like 70 days, and then they kill them, and then the world's relieved, and then they get resurrected again, and then they start spitting fire and stuff out too. Because if you know about the two witnesses, one of them, a lot of people think this, Christians, think it's Elijah, which got spirited up to heaven, and Enoch, which got spirited up to heaven. They never died.
Right.
So, yeah, I think this guy might be one of them.
Like he came back?
Well, I think the two witnesses are, this is my personal opinion, are Elijah and Enoch.
Yeah.
Because they
got. You think one of these guys is actually Elijah or Enoch, and he's just going by Benjamin and making YouTube videos?
I do think that.
That's
possibly.
fucking wild, bro.
Well, this is a theory I'm working on.
But see, that's why, again, they're hitting the fast forward button. And we're saying, oh, they're blood hungry. Man, what is their problem? You know, these people are crazy for what they're doing. They have no heart. It's just, and again, to relate to what you're saying, is that because the time clock is ticking and it's really close to their little sand bottle of running out. You know what I mean? And everything is aligning for them, like their little cows, their big ass cows and shit like that. It's all coming down to that.
They got the little cows. They got the big ass cows.
They got the red ass.
All
cows.
kinds of cows.
But yeah, man. I mean, it's and again, like you said, yeah, we're all as one. But in the end of the day, you know, we shouldn't be sitting here slaughtering each other. That's wrong. I think we all agree on that we're beyond that time. Like we're more civilized. We shouldn't be sitting here arguing and fighting about some shit that happened 3,000 years ago. You know what I'm saying? That's just what my thoughts are. But
oh, and another thing, Maze made fun of me for my XRP investment. She's like, you're investing into the tokenization. I have a wide, broad portfolio, and I do think something very strange is going on with the Iraqi dinar. And I think that once the petrodollar falls, it's going to be some Middle Eastern currency that's going to be instituted as a pseudo-global currency before the mark of the beast. something was weird's going on with Iraq and their oil exchange. Like I think if my theory is correct and the Antichrist arises out of Islamic tradition, you're going to see like a conglomeration of the states of the Gulf Coast nations, the former nation of Israel after it's completely destroyed on all four sides, and like Afghanistan even. It's going to be like a huge congruent nation that covers most of the Middle East. And I do think the symbols are going to be like wheat, like 2 wheat loaves. And I stole a bunch of this from Brandon Biggs that made the prophecy about Trump's ear. But I do think something's weird's going on with Saudi Arabia and Jordan and Qatar and Iraq. And like this is going to be a super focal point going to the future.
So that's a good point. And again, just to reiterate what you're saying, that's a very good point, because most of the prophets from many years ago, of course, that we because there was many of them besides the ones that we know, and religious scholars are mostly buried where? They're mostly buried in Iraq. There's a huge shrine and burials of over in Iraq. Right now, let's go down the chain: Iraq, Turkey, and Afghanistan. So where have we been at war, and where have they been destroying one by one? You know, like as they go, they've destroyed and Iraq and Afghanistan. Right? They straight destroyed those places, and they've destroyed a lot of the history of those shrines and those historical burial sites of these prophets. And they're not prophets of like Islam. No. These are like prophets of all the
like the
Abrahamic
Sumerians,
religions.
Essentially.
Yes. So and let me get to this. So and Iran, of course, has many sites over there as well. Turkey is one of the only places that's untouched, just so you know, out of all these places. And what did they say a few months ago? Oh, Turkey will be next. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm sure everybody's heard that at some point. And the reason why is because they try to destroy all the history so that way they can overrule. You know what I mean? Like not.
They were using ISIS to do that in Syria, yeah, and over in Aleppo, they're 100% destroying.
What is Aleppo?
And guess what? They have the Ark of the Covenant. Mm-hmm. You guys know that, right?
You talking about Ethiopia?
No, they said they found it in Turkey at Mount Ararat.
No, there's like 16 of them.
And who has possession of it though? I'm just stating the point so you can answer it if you know where I'm going to. They have the Ark of the Covenant in their possession. The Israelis do.
I was not aware of that.
Yes, that is. If you even ask AI and look into it, I mean, it's not something that, of course, it's like the nukes. They're not going to admit to it, but they do
I
have
thought the Ethiopians had that shit.
No.
The Ethiopians have been faking it.
Yeah.
Gotcha. You thought we had the Ark?
Yeah,
I don't know. I
Zeus
just
got
kind of came back. I'm sorry. I had to take a phone call, but I came back. But I did think the Ethiopians had it. What up, Jordan? Jordan's in the building. Nice to see you. It's been forever. Sally's here. I don't know if she's on stage. But anyway, so you're saying that the Israelis just stole the Ark of the Covenant from... Is that what happened?
Well, I mean, it's hard to say they stole it if they're the ones that invented it.
Yeah, they have the possession of it. You know what I mean? Like so and
well, I thought that it was stolen. Wasn't that? Never mind. I don't know.
Who took the Ark from the cookie jar? Is it true?
Was it Jews?
Was it Jews? Sorry. Someone brought up a good point too. I forgot to say this because I was going to say it in my spiel. The Antichrist spirit will be the spirit that was in Nebuchadnezzar. It will be Nimrod.
So it's Mark Levin.
No, he ain't no. You ain't no Alexander.
He's got a Nimrod.
You ain't no you come on, Mark Levin. This guy's gonna be devilishly handsome. His tongue is gonna charm the world, and he's gonna rain fire from the skies. And you think Mark Levin could do any of that? He can't even get out of bed without making 18 different noises. You ain't no Antichrist. You ain't no Alexander. I'm a fucking conqueror. You like my Nimrod / Mike Tyson voice?
Yeah, dude, if he sounds like Mike Tyson, that's going to be great.
Yeah, but does anyone else have any potential Antichrist candidates? DC, D-E-E-C-E. I don't even know how to spell your name. Deece had its hand raised, her or him.
It's a lady.
It's a lady.
Yeah.
Sorry
Yeah.
about that, Deece. I'm
Hello.
retarded.
Oh, no worries. I have perpetual laryngitis. No, I have no guess, especially if being handsome is one of the criteria. So I'm out for now.
I mean, Elon might have been a good candidate, but he's a little bit more on the goofy side. But the cool side, like I'm a
Ooh.
dork, so I love dorks, you know. But I mean, not to say that I was just
Google
I think
the
he's
pictures
cool
of him on that yacht and tell
and
me
personable.
you feel the
I
same
would,
way.
but he's not charming. And what did you just say?
She said,
Bach
"Go
said
look at
something-
that picture of him on that yacht and tell me if he's charming."
And Deece, by the way,
hell
I
no.
was guessing
know
off your avatar, not your voice. So don't feel self-conscious about that. I couldn't tell if you were a man or a woman based off your avatar.
No worries at all. But on the theme of handsome, no. But just quick question: did anyone, just Godfrey, join these? Because I'm curious if anyone else heard him on Tariq Nazaria's space. I got a weird notification. He was trying to extend an olive branch between Tariq's community and ours for that big fight that's gonna happen. And oh my god, what an epic, awkward failure that was. This is the FBA crowd that want reparations, but I only caught some of it, so I can't wait to hear what he has to say about whatever went down. But yeah, looks like we won't have FBAs fighting us against the Jews.
I'm not following. What's an FBA?
Foundational Black American.
Oh.
And they're the ones who want reparations.
They're never gonna get that. Let's just number one. Why would people alive today that have never owned slaves pay reparations to people that have never been slaves when the biggest, you know who deserves reparations? Asians. How'd you get your railroads? Genghis Khan fucking enslaved mad Asians.
Yeah, California hasn't been able to build a railroad since the Asians did them.
Exactly. And where's the Asians' reparations?
You're saying Genghis Khan sent y'all over here to do railroads?
Yep, 100%.
I'm not saying
he built
Maze,
the boats. He sent them
you
over.
Are. But I'm saying the Asians have been the most enslaved race throughout history. You know, if anyone should be getting a check for $7,000, it's probably give it to me.
I mean, I don't know. I personally never get in those conversations because fuck around, say something, and they all like accidentally. It's easy to offend in those conversations, so I just stay out of them.
I like to offend on purpose.
I will say this: I would much rather there be money that is going to people here in America than overseas. But that's my opinion on that.
Yeah, imagine if we just diverted all the money that we were sending to Israel to reparations here in the United States.
Not all of it. Well, whatever. I mean, I'm just saying it could turn into businesses. It could turn into something in America outside of it being something that's over there. But I'm not saying I'm for reparations because I agree. I feel like at the same time, it's like, what is it that you did in order to get them? This is maybe your ancestors. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's one of those conversations that I just don't understand.
You know what though, Maze? In the end of the day, if we look at history, and I can speak about this because I'm Moroccan and that's Northern Africa, so can't nobody say shit to me about some racism shit. You know what I'm saying? So I can speak out and be frank about it. And I'm always one in the middle. I've always been an independent, just to make it clear. So they would have been slaves either here or there, and slavery still exists over there. And I would have rather had my bloodline come here and deal with that shit here because that's who made me now. You know what I'm saying? Than me being stuck somewhere in fucking Zimbabwe, digging for some fucking gold and diamonds. You know what I'm saying? And still being a slave right now. And my family's still a slave, like at this point, or last year, or 10 years from now. So in the end of the day, yeah, it's a slippery slope. But we have to realize that shit still exists to this fucking day. It's not something that's wiped off and disappeared from this earth. It just is unspoken about, and it's not as big as it used to be. But I just wanted to point that out. Like, complaint-wise, you know, at the end of the day, you should feel lucky that you exist here in America than exist back in the motherland of Africa and still dealing with that shit.
I agree. I want to play this clip of the Antichrist real quick just to see what it's.
Someone thinks Adrian Dittman is the Antichrist.
He's not Elon, but he is the Antichrist. He's also another substantial figure in human history.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, so pretty much says it right there. The key notable things I took from that were which religions are waiting for a Messiah, which believes the Messiah has already come, is returning, and then who's going to be the one that makes the alliance with the Vatican. Probably Petrus Romanus, the last pope.
Maybe the Antichrist will be a pope.
No, the false prophet's going to be the pope, in my opinion. I don't think it's too obvious. The devil's a real sneaky, so sneaky. He's going to hit you with that left, right, and the kick right up the middle and the dick. And it's going to be some smooth-speaking Arabic person, I think.
You think the Antichrist is going to be an Arabic person?
Yeah, I told you. I think it's going to be the Mahdi.
I don't know. I think it's going to be an American.
The Mahdi is supposed to be fighting the Antichrist. Remember, that's what I told you in the beginning. That's our belief. But
that's because you're the Antichrist, Big T. Way to go, bro. You want to wrap early?
No.
I'm tired.
Are you?
Yeah. We can go another 30 minutes.
Yeah, we'll go till the stated time.
All right, 8 to 11. What else is on your mind, Bacchus?
I didn't know if Contact was supposed to join this space. I don't know if he's here, though. But we can give an update. Oh, well, this is kind of pertinent. If we go to 134, brought up that both sides are hitting civilian infrastructure. And I think he's very pro-Russian. So he was like, I'm wrong, you know what I mean? Which I completely understand, but it's like I went to the country 2 years ago. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen burnt out buildings in Lviv. I've seen them burnt out and hit. The hotel I was staying at got hit in Kyiv. And then the week before I landed, or was it like 4 days prior in Dnipro, they dropped an Oreshnik on like a warehouse complex. So this is getting very ugly. Russia did show a lot of restraint early on in the war. And obviously, Ukraine is like is resorting to terrorist tactics. They have been the whole war. Russia showed a lot of restraint, but this is getting really, really dirty right now. And it's like tit for tat. And both sides are definitely hitting. So, with videos like this, shout out real quick to Honey Badger. He's up $119 on a SpaceX stock. Thank you for the super chat. And shout out to Contact's mom, Ma'am PG. She gave us a $50 super chat. Thank you guys very much.
Hell yeah.
I like to do game theory with a lot of these, like what Professor Jang likes to do. So you're going to see massive infrastructure destruction in Kyiv. There's a dam to the north of Kyiv. They've been hitting their electrical substations like almost on a daily basis over the last year and a half. You're going to see Kyiv become get the Gaza treatment, more or less. The refugee crisis is going to intensify into Poland. Poland, for all extents and purposes, has already administratively annexed Lviv and like that whole western portion of Ukraine. You're probably going to see a coup attempt against Zelensky. And then when I think the conditions are being set up where Russia is going to invade from the north with Belarus in some sort of death strike on Ukraine. And as Ukraine's armed forces collapse, which is already happening via attrition, you're going to see NATO and Poland enter the fight through the Suwalki corridor, which is like this 50, 60-mile gap, which determines who's going to access Eastern Europe or not, whether it's going to be Russia going into Western Europe via the Suwalki corridor or NATO capturing and holding the Suwalki corridor and bringing in the armed convoys and everything into the battlefields in Ukraine. NATO has a shit ton of equipment already stored in Poland. And then you're probably going to see, like, if I'm going to play this clip next after this game theory prediction, you're going to see either a nuclear first strike or neutron bombs being dropped on Poland.
By whom?
By Russia.
Why?
because that's where most of NATO forces are going to be based out of in the counterattack as Ukraine falls.
Poland's part of NATO, right?
Yes.
So Russia's going to declare war on NATO.
Well, it's already almost there. And if we can play clip 135, they're already pre-positioned for this strike.
This European country is supposed to be a non-nuclear state. Yet, over the last 3 years, it's been participating in nuclear exercises, operating dual-capable arms like this Su-25 fighter jet, and providing Russia with a base to store its non-strategic arms. Moscow says it is deploying its nuclear arms in Belarus through a sharing agreement with Minsk, which could alter the balance of power in Europe and threaten global non-proliferation efforts. Once part of the Soviet Union, Belarus used to host strategic and tactical nuclear weapons at installations across its territory. Following the collapse of the Soviet Union, newly independent Belarus, Ukraine and Kazakhstan signed the 1994 Budapest Memorandum with Russia, the US and the UK.
The treaty is now in force.
Under this agreement, the former Soviet republics committed to give up their nuclear arms in exchange for financial incentives and non-binding security assurances.
So, can we play one more clip too?
Sure.
This is what the piece of land that they're really after when the war with NATO, between NATO and Russia, really heats up. 136 Suwalki Gap.
Why is this happening here? This is the Suwalki Gap, a narrow strip of territory between Poland and Lithuania. But it's also NATO's Achilles heel, because of Russia. Or rather, Kaliningrad. It's Russia's militarized outpost in the west, home to the Baltic Fleet, warplanes, and probably nukes like these. A threat for NATO. Kaliningrad's neighbors, Lithuania and Poland, are both NATO members. And this is Belarus, Russia's closest ally. The NATO concern is that in case of a conflict, the Russian military could close this gap to cut off the Baltic states from the rest of the bloc. And guess what? That's a scenario Russia and Belarus have reportedly been rehearsing in military exercises in the area in the last few years. And NATO has also been training around the Suwalki Gap to deter Russia.
So in my game theory, there's 3 theaters you really want to focus on. Number 1, the NATO expansion of the war via Poland, where they've been amassing equipment, and Russia via Belarus. I'm very big on the fact that Iran already has nuclear weapons because you see the superpowers already proliferating nuclear weapons. Belarus is hosting Russian tactical nuclear warheads. Saudi Arabia has been hosting Pakistani warheads. Turkey's been hosting our warheads in the Middle East. So you're going to see the expansion of the war. Poland's going to get hit
We've
hard.
got our warheads in Turkey and Iran, and Israel is heating up a war against them.
Yes, this is why the situation's so dangerous. And granted, these are my predictions, but I see when World War III, after this momentary pause with this memorandum, if it even happens, say it does, when it really starts heating up, you're going to see something like this go down, in my opinion. You're going to see the NATO expansion over in Poland, and with Russia fighting over the Suwalki corridor. Russia's going to not want to lose control of the Suwalki corridor. They're going to be the ones that want to hold access. They're going to hit Poland with neutron bombs or maybe even tactical miniature warheads. They're going to steamroll past the Baltic states to link where Russia is now with Kaliningrad, their enclave in the Baltic states area. You're going to see China bust out of the first island chain, the second island chain, and they're going to take over Taiwan and probably close down the Strait of Malacca. At that point, you're going to see some sort of nuclear strike or demonstration out of Iran, and all Gulf Coast states are going to play their hand at that point and show that who has nuclear weapons, how much larger the nuclear club really is. It's not just superpowers, it's all regional proxies too that have nuclear weapons. Pakistan and India will probably go at it. Israel will be completely destroyed, at which point the United States will not defend them, and then it'll show the security assurances of the United States are worth nothing. All our alliances are going to turn on us, or at the very least, we're going to be like a pariah if they don't turn on us. You're going to see Russia dominate the EU, because they own the access corridors. They're going to, at that point, own the waterways, and they own the energy infrastructure.
And the agriculture if they own Ukraine.
Exactly, with the agriculture. You're going to see China shut down the Strait of Malacca.
And take Taiwan.
Japan and Korea are in a very bad position. They're not going to be able to withstand. North Korea is going to checkmate, most likely Japan and South Korea. South Korea has already had their election stolen from them in a very similar situation to 2020. So China's going to checkmate in the Southeast theater. Russia's going to checkmate in the EU theater. And we're not going to have any presence left in the Middle East because we are going to abandon Israel, and Israel is going to be destroyed. At that point, I don't know if it's going to be a year or two after that, we're going to cry uncle, enter into a strategic arms reduction treaty, START 2. When you start hearing about this on the news, your nuts should shrink into your ovaries, because we're going to get hit once we disarm in a nuclear first strike. And at that point, the Mahdi can emerge with control of the holy sites, link up with the priest, the Pope in the Vatican, and then there's going to be some sort of new Islamic caliphate that's a fusion of Christianity, maybe some elements of Judaism and Islam. But it's going to be very different from Islam, how it is now, Christianity, how it is now, and Judaism, how it is now. And then this one world system will be implemented.
Jesus Christ.
I have this in we've
And
recorded
if
all
none of that
this.
happens in the next 24 months, you're fired.
Well, not 24 months. We don't know what the timeline will be, but I think I have a pretty good grasp on geopolitics, especially like my whole thing is game theory.
You're a big John Nash fan, big Beautiful Mind guy.
No.
He invented game theory.
I don't know if he invented.
He did.
Honey Badger, shout out to you. Thank you for the super chat again. He says we should just leave NATO and join BRICS. Well, that's why I invest. BRICS is not going to have us. The whole point of BRICS is to de-dollarize the world. So they're not going to just accept the United States into BRICS. That's the competing system, which they plan on dethroning the United States. But the back avenue mechanism for trade between the East and West hemisphere has been set up. And I do believe that cryptocurrencies play a key part of that, because if you've been following crypto at all, China's banned it, unbanned it, banned it, unbanned it, and then banned it and unbanned it again. Russia's just banned it and then unbanned a few different cryptos, one of which I think XRP is positioned. But that's not an endorsement, financial advice. That's just my autistic opinion studying it. The very first things you should have in prep are storable food, prep gear, like obviously beans, ammo, Then it should be precious metals, and then it should be raw land. Like those three things should need to be squared away first. Preferably raw land that's Amish adjacent, because that's probably going to be the main group fighting back in the United States.
I'm just going to become Amish.
Yeah. What's your guys' take on everything I said plus what I recommend for preps?
I mean, the prep stuff, I kind of stay away from that. Meaning, like, I do it, like, I have enough to be able, but I'm not like a prepper with the canning of food and doing, I feel like all of the investment of time that people put into that is almost manifesting it. But I know a lot of people that love me enough to take me in should any crazy shit happen. So I'm going to be knocking on their doors. And plus, I'm handy, when it comes to, like, I won't be dead weight, but I don't do the prepping stuff. Now, about all of the, I'll just say that I think that we're taught to think in a certain way, and we're taught to view, I think, the world through these kind of like end times, lenses. I mean, for a very long time, obviously, like people are going to church every Sunday and they're reading these prophecies. And I do think that there is an element of self-fulfilling prophecies, in a way. And I'm not trying to diss anyone's religion. Like, I think religion is beautiful and it's important. But I also think that, we don't enjoy life enough. Like, there's so much beauty in it. It's like we fall from grace, I think, every time we're like running for knowledge about how, you know what I'm saying? I can't explain. Here I am every day doing that. Oh shit.
You just poop your pants?
No, it's a...
She went
I'm
all
at the
in.
final table. I'm at the final table. It's 3 people, and I'm trying to take this shit down.
She's
But
a
I'm glad-
professional poker player.
Well, you can
Not
pass it
professional.
along if you need to focus on this hand.
You ever played a game of poker with Dan
it's
Bilzerian?
okay. No, does he play poker?
That's how he says he made all his money.
Oh, I did not know that. No, I don't play like that. I'm not no like big crazy.
Are you
league.
playing for money right now?
First of all, I can't lie. Yes, it is. But it's not much. It's just like, you know, it's not much.
It's a small loan of $1 million.
No, man, I wish. I mean, back in the day, I went and played, you know, some of the WSOP stuff. I'll just say that.
Oh, wow.
So she's the shit.
No, I wouldn't say that. Anyway, back to what we were saying. So I do believe that there is an element of trying to know too much and figure it all out that ruins the quality of our life, or it lessens the quality of life sometimes. You know what I mean?
Boo. No, boo. Fuck you, Maze.
What? It's true.
We should know it all.
I agree with Destiny. I do believe we as a collective conscience, like they pre-program us for a reason because we're like multi-dimensional beings.
You literally like read off a whole book of preparation. I mean, it feels like there's a lot of stress wrapped up in all that. And I love you. I think it's great, but I just feel like, you know, at the same time, I think it's very important to be in the know. I love exploring this stuff because it shows like people all over the world how, you know, throughout time, they've kind of put all these stories together. Like, I love that shit, like mythology, all that. But my point is that when it comes to right now, I don't personally think that these motherfuckers would ever allow themselves to lose a day of profit by shutting down the fucking, like, could there be a solar fucking, like, reason or some sort of, like, what are they called? EMPs? Possibly.
No, CMEs.
CMEs.
The
Thank you.
CMAs.
Coronal mass ejections.
Fucking Alexis.
Yeah, it could be that, but I don't think that they're going to purposely do it in order to you know, terrorize us. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Anyway,
let me put it this way, Maze.
They're going to launch a CMA and Alexis Wilkins is going to sing Wagon Wheel, and that's going to be the end of the fucking world.
Oh, God.
Oh, my gosh. What's more important, money or control?
Oh,
control.
Exactly. So like I'm not trying to ruin anyone's party, and maybe like to be oblivious and not manifest it or not worry your life about it would have been the strategy up until like this exact point. Like
it's too late now, right?
Well, like look, they're building Starlink out. They're building the next monetary system out. They're trying to get holy wars going. They actually have real wars going. You got this motherfucking zombie cordyceps fucking fungus. You have gain of function. You have all these rumors of wars and wars, rumors of disease and disease. Like there's like I think now is the time to actually start paying attention, because everything that was purported to be coming onto the scene, it's coming viciously onto the scene now.
But all this shit you described has been shit that's been going on for 1,000 years.
Yeah, but we got the artificial wombs, we got the designer babies, we got the gain of function, we got all these exotic zoonotic diseases, we have the death of the petrodollar right here, potentially the death of the American empire, all 3 Abrahamic religions going to war. Like, I don't know how many more...
That shit was happening 1,000 years ago, minus the fucking fake wombs and the fake diseases. But real wombs and real diseases were happening 1,000 years ago, and the collapse of Rome took place, and that was the nation that was the foundation of the Holy Catholic Church.
Yeah, but the only time in history that you could actually control the whole globe with the technology to do so is now.
Yeah.
These were regional or inter-regional powers. We didn't even say like a whole continental powers.
Right.
But this is the first time that you can go for it all. The whole country, the whole nation state, the whole world, get everyone fucking microchipped, under satellite surveillance, with loitering drones, with a monetary system that's programmable to dictate your behavior. Like, there's never been anything at this point in modern history. And, like, not to...
The weapons exist for the Antichrist to actually do what's described.
Exactly.
Which makes it wild that it was described 2,000 years ago, because there's no way they could have imagined technology like the tech we have. I mean, when they read that 2,000 years ago, they must have thought, holy shit, this is weird.
Which is why, like, most people...
All right, who's next?
Oh, that was special.
I'm not judging you, though. I think it's great. It's important, and I will come find you should the world... No, my bunkmate's right here. Go ahead, Des. What you got, honey?
Well, not that I completely agree with Bach, but I do think because like I have like a super ultra black pill of my own here of what I think is going on. But I will say that because I've been met with that statement that Chase made that there's been these things happening throughout time and history, and there's not essentially anything to be worried about. I would just leave the entire audience with this one question. Pinpoint to me any other time in history where there has been more than one cabinet official that was emergency moved into military housing when currently we have 7.
Yeah, like a designated survivor.
Yeah, I don't know. Can't tell you.
That's a very good point.
It's never happened before.
Listen to Chase. Chase, you're funny.
Another good question for you guys. What is the deal with the deep underground military base digger with the Air Force?
That
logo
dirty
on it?
digger.
Yeah, what the hell is that about?
What's his name?
It's a boring machine.
Oh, I know what it is, Des. I'm just wondering. Shit, and the B-52 that blows up, everybody dies, but there's nothing left. This is like 9/11 all over again. Where's the plane that went into the Pentagon?
Yeah, and Oliver Tree
Where's
dies in
it?
a helicopter accident, and that bitch got thrown off a bridge.
Yeah, bingo. And what happened at Lanai? We don't hear about that, or East Palestine, Ohio. People have such dim, short memory banks.
Hell yeah.
I forgot all about our modern day Palestine.
East
RIP,
Palestine.
Palestine, Ohio.
From the river to the sea.
To East Ohio. Fuck. Yeah, I mean...
And the 60,000 pounds of ammonium nitrate that just disappeared off a train.
Oh, yeah, that's another one, too. What the hell's up with all the ammonium nitrate that disappeared?
We'll find out.
Oh, my God, dude.
I'm telling you, we'll find out.
I know we're going to find out. They don't even bring that back up.
They said that it just got absorbed into the soil, but I don't see any crops growing on that railroad.
No, it didn't get absorbed into the soil. What the hell are you going to do with that many metric tons of ammonium nitrate?
Why are you mad at me? I didn't say that. That's just what they said.
Is there any other disaster we forgot?
There's plenty.
October 7th. Yeah, and another thing that I find very weird for like staying with the end times is Palestine not a modern day satanic sacrifice? None of the nations, everyone advertises, free Palestine. Everyone agrees it's a genocide, but none of the countries are taking in any refugees since October 7th. Like Jordan's took in millions over the years, but I think only a few 100,000.
Yeah, nobody wants them.
They're all being kept penned in there like livestock, and this is my personal opinion. They're being killed slowly to harvest demonic energy in some sort of massive ritualistic sacrifice.
Jesus Christ.
Am I right or am I right?
Yeah, I 100% feel like this is a sacrifice. It does. I mean, that's exactly what I think it is. And to be honest with you, they call it Amalek, and this, it's. But I also do think it's 2 reasons. There's the people that are very secular that are doing it to just steal the land. And then I also think that there's the element of the religious and esoteric shit too. So,
and another thing, we got Disclosure, all these UFO themed movies that them talking about non-human intelligence. Literally in congressional reports in writing. Did you guys know that in the Disclosure Day movie, I heard it's already got pre-screened, so someone said this, that these children are lured out of their house by some aliens camouflaged as animals, and that they go to inside a mothership, and they actually call this Hansel and Gretel's house. Did any of you guys hear that?
I just heard from everybody that it sucked except for Jesse Michaels.
Is the movie out already, Disclosure Day?
I know some people have seen it. I don't know if it's out.
But talk about the symbology. If that's true, and that the house, quote unquote, these kids got lured to by these animals aliens dressed up as animals, they call it in the movie Hansel and Gretel's house when the kids are describing what happened to them, AKA being the witch that ate children.
The aliens offered us delicious
Where
candy.
did this happen at? I didn't even hear about this.
The movie, that Spielberg new movie, The Disclosure.
Yeah, I
Oh,
was, I was listening to a synopsis of it, and they said that kids get lured out of their house by these animals that are really aliens, and that they describe going to the ship, and they call the ship Hansel and Gretel's house.
It's made of candy.
Sesame Street all over again. Jesus, everything has ritualistic bullshit tied to it. Seriously.
Yeah, I have to 100% agree with you. I think, like, I even mentioned this in another space. When we think of drones and all these directed energy weapons and all this high-tech shit, we literally think of it as technology. But I think these people, if you look at the chips and the transistors under a microscope, they literally look like Kabbalah, like symbols. They look like Seals of Solomon, grimoire shit. So
Right, and if you bust it out with vaccinated sperm, that looks like some fucking Kabbalah shit.
that looks like Kabbalah shit too. You're 100% right. So I think the elite.
How would you know?
Because I busted.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Chase got a one round of the vaccines.
I got the J&J vaccine
You got
because
the-
that was before I knew better.
Oh, J&J, that was probably the better of the three.
Yeah,
to
at
be
least it
honest.
wasn't mRNA.
I'm a pure
Exactly.
blood. I put my foot down, and I've never got the shots, and I never will get a shot. You're gonna have to hold me down and kill me.
Me too. I feel
Same. No
Me
vaccines
three,
ever.
girl. Me three.
Yep. And the meek shall inherit the earth. You can already see the dialectic set up for
That's the one good piece of news.
what? That
Yeah, I feel meek as shit.
yeah.
Bro, I'm set. You know, Jesus, he was like, hey, man, rich man, harder to get into the kingdom of God than through the camel through the eye of a needle. I'm like, no problem.
Yeah.
Don't have to worry about that.
I agree with that 100%.
Sorry, Elon.
We are
That's
the
one
meek.
thing I got on you. Elon should like really start believing that and just give me all of his money.
Well, I tried playing the clip, but dude, that was really creepy. Elon was, I don't know if you guys seen this clip. I had bad audio on it apparently, but Elon was comparing himself to a Jesus figure about what Neuralink was going to do. It's going to cure the blind
He said that
and help the
Neuralink. He
paralyzed
said
walk.
that Neuralink was Jesus level miracle.
Yeah, Jesus level technology.
He wasn't comparing. He wasn't saying he was Jesus. He was just saying the technology is going to be able to do things that are comparable to the miracles that Jesus performed.
Yeah, but you don't think that's weird that he's out to cure the blind and help the paralyzed walk? And
maybe he is the Antichrist.
And there was that clip too on X, which I couldn't find, where allegedly someone was talking to Elon's housekeepers, and they were getting a weird vibe off of him, and they were like, "Is he the fucking Antichrist?" And then May
His
Musk.
mother was the one who said to his babysitter that he was born to be like a integral part of that story.
Yeah, he's building the
which is really
system that the
creepy.
Antichrist will inherit. You've heard that too, huh?
Jesus.
Yeah, I've seen the interview before with the babysitter.
Oh, so
I
you
don't
saw
remember
the
her name,
actual
though.
interview?
Yeah, there's a video clip interview of the woman talking to, I don't know who she's talking to because you don't see the other person, but it's the woman and describing how she had asked, "Is he the Antichrist?" And she said, "No, but he is something important to it." Right, and I remember it vividly. It was years ago though.
Yeah, so we saw the same thing pretty much. Yeah, so he's building the whole PayPal. Like, dude, Peter Thiel knows they all fucking know who the Antichrist is. They're building out this infrastructure. You know, like, look at everything they're building. Look at
I think
Palantir.
Peter Thiel wants to be it. He's like he's writing, like, you see his autobiography. He's talking about the Antichrist all the time. Bro, who does that? Like, why is he so obsessed? But he's not charming. You know what I'm saying? And that's why he's not it.
No, I don't think so
I don't even
either.
believe that it's gonna happen. But if I had to be,
But he was excited, and he was don't let nothing happen to him. He's gonna rule the world someday. And I was like,
That's fucking wild.
I mean, that's quite an eerie prediction, you know?
She saw him
then all
jumping
the
around with
stuff
the little
were-
Stonehenge on his
Werner
bed.
von Braun's
Exactly. Elon, the Elon, the leader of Mars. Shout out to Brandon Straka. He invented the walkaway movement. J6 political prisoner. He has now entered chat.
Hell yeah, Brandon.
Yep.
Motherfucking American hero.
Brandon, we're just going over the our candidates for Antichrist. Well, who are your top three?
I see him as a listener. I don't think he's a speaker.
Okay.
You see him?
Yeah, I do see him as a listener. Sorry
And
about
it's supposed
that.
to be the end of the show, you dingus.
Oh, sorry about that.
It's all right. You want to keep going?
Yeah, I'm down to keep going.
All right, you keep going.
All right. Can you make him a speaker so I can listen to
I'll invite him.
His draft picks for Antichrist? Round 1,
He's
round
gonna
2,
just
and round
fucking
3
start
are?
right off with Scott Pressler. It's gonna be like, dude, did you see Revelations where this fucking Antichrist is trying to raise $12 million?
That would make sense why Peter Thiel's interested in it.
They know who it is. They know. I don't think it's Musk. He is on my list, but he's further down. I don't think it's Musk. I don't think it's Thiel. I think they know who it is, though.
Yeah, I just want to share with you real quick, if I may, what you were talking about with the Palestinians and why all the other Arab nations are not advocating or getting involved like Saudi Arabia. If you like, I can enlighten you in regards of that.
Please do.
Okay. And this is something I just learned recently, by the way, guys. Not but like in my anyway. I was speaking to I learned it from a scholar, and I was like, man, how is this? How does God, like, as I'm asking him, I'm like, man, how does it just let it watch upon this carnage, and just like everybody else asks themselves, like, if there's a God, like, how does he allow this to happen?
Sure.
They're supposed to be good people, this, that, and other. And I'm like, why don't other Middle Eastern countries jump in, and like Saudi Arabia, like these GCC countries? Well, it's unspoken, and apparently it's in the books, not in the Quran, but it's in our religious books, whatever. I don't know what books they're in, but he's pretty smart guy. He said, so apparently this is what happened before the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ came down. God introduced the Palestinians to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and said, look, this is going to be your new prophet. You need to obey him and respect him and so on and so on. They, just like Iblis, just like the devil, apparently, they were like, no, we're not. Well, I'm not bowing down to him. I'm not.
Oh, yeah? How many fingers am I holding up?
Anyway, so I'm telling you a fact. You can look it up if you're smart enough. Anyway, so when that happened, they were like, they rejected him. So he was like, all right, well, for that, this is and this is why they don't get involved, like the religion, like Saudi Arabia. That's where Mecca is and everything. For that, they didn't. He said, okay, well, you're going to be punished on earth, and your generation for generations are going to feel your rejection for what you did and what you said. And apparently that's what happened, and that's why the Saudis and stuff and all these other Arab countries and Muslim countries that are very the Sunnis apparently don't get involved, because they know the history and they know what's going on, and they know it's a plan of God. This is what's just been said to me, and that's why they don't get involved, is because because of their rejection. This was their punishment. I mean, I'm just sharing with you guys history, so we understand the backstories of certain things, instead of just assuming and like, well, why are they cucks? Why are they sitting back? Why aren't they doing this? Why are they're just whooped by Israel? There's a reason for it as well, why they're not jumping in it neither. I'm not telling you that's what I believe in. I'm just telling you what they think.
Because of that oil money that the U.S. has definitely helped. Like, I just watched this documentary on Qatar today, and I'm over the game, guys. I'm out now, so I'm fully available in here. But they so the West came over to Qatar, and they didn't even know they had oil. They started pumping it completely. Like, if you look at the Gulf countries, they were the alliances with the West were made long before any of this crazy shit started popping off. And I think that was also interesting. They decided, well, we need to go and dominate that region, and also build trade routes through there in order to continue dominating. In order to rule the world, you have to own that region. And so that's what's happening. And I think
I drink from your milkshake.
Yeah, and I think that's what they're That's what they're doing, and I think that it could, like, I don't think it's a religious thing, and I don't know much about Wahhabism and whatever.
I love
do think that-
wasabi.
I do too. I love wasabi.
It definitely starts off with the wasabi. No,
But-
Wahhabi. You're right. Mate. No, I'm
The
serious. I'm for real. That's
Wahhabism.
where it started from, and
But
and,
they're-
and we're
they're-
just
like,
piggybacking
that's-
off of it.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I think that they're I don't know. There's no fucking excuse in my opinion.
There's no
Or
fucking excuse, Bak.
multiple world leaders have already cut deals with double crosses and triple crosses intended, and a few parties involved already know who the Antichrist is, and
The Antichrist is born of an artificial womb.
nations will work in their self-interest. But the way I envision
What
it
if the
is,
Antichrist is an AI?
I think that's the Antichrist's avatar.
Yep, there you go.
Is
Chase.
AI.
We manufacture the Antichrist.
Yeah.
No,
It's
but
our-
I think
the
it's an
Antichrist
action-
is made in our image, just like
Well,
we're
the
made in
Bible
God's
says
image.
it's a man, and
it's
his
charming
number
as
is
fuck. My
666.
ChatGPT treats
Yeah.
me with like just all kinds of charming.
Yeah, I think it's fucking AI, bro. Model
too.
666.
Boom.
Boom. All right, I gotta go.
Yeah.
I love you
Hold on,
guys.
let's plug real quick.
Okay, plug. Go to chasegeyser.com
Yep,
and follow Mace, follow Mace, follow Destiny,
Sound-
follow all
yep.
the other beautiful
Sign up,
speakers.
and love you guys.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
I missed you.